Alert, alert, this is Charlotte Shotgun.
It's Joel Tatum, and it's that Little Gay Talk Show.
All the way from Houston, Texas.
Let's get into it, girl.
Hey, it's that Little Gay Talk Show, and Charlotte's out of town.
Yep, she sure is.
She's out of town. She's in Seattle now, right? I think.
Oh, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe she's in Seattle. She's doing like I feel like she's doing like a little mini tour.
Okay, a little getaway is what really she wanted to do. Just get away, spend time with her friend, quote unquote, and relax and have a break. Because remember last time I was on the show, we talked about her needing to take a break.
Yeah, because she needed a break. That girl was working herself to death.
Yes.
She only has to do the show once a week, but she still has to do. She does her drag shows.
Yes.
She does her bitch boys undies.
Yes.
She does all that stuff. So she is constantly busy. In fact, the last time I talked to her, she was still making orders from last Monday.
Oh my God.
When she was. Here's what her thinking was, and I love this, and I think I said it on last week, but I'm gonna repeat it once again. Her thinking at the time was, I'm probably just gonna do 3 or 4.
Right.
I'll probably sell what's on the table.
Right.
And that's it.
Because that's what we thought, and I prepared her mentally before she. I didn't give her any expectations, any like.
So when I called her and said, "Hey, do you need me for anything?"
Yeah.
And at first she's like, "No, I think I can handle it. I got this." And then she's like, "You know what? I might need someone to take waist sizes."
And real quick, if you're wondering who the voice is, this is Julio from the last episode.
Well, you should have introduced yourself.
Oh, hey guys, this is Julio. I was featured on your first episode, season 2, which is the last episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I listened to myself.
Okay. Julio, let's throw out a first and last name. You want?
Julio Bricenyo.
Bricenyo,
I
because
used to go by the name Julio Eagle, but that was when I used to work at the bar Eagle. And now I'm at Buddy, so I had to switch up the last names. And so now I go by my regular government, Julio Eagle. Or, sorry, Julio Bricenyo.
Okay, because that's a lot of aliases. You on the run from something? Do I need to know? Do I need to shut my windows?
I plead the fifth, and I need some
do I need
aluminum
to shut the
foil.
windows?
Can you put some aluminum foil around the window, please?
I'm not going to be looking for a red dot on me, am I?
They're listening.
Okay.
They're onto us.
All right. We don't want no assassinations.
So many conspiracies.
I know. I mean, it's been enough conspiracies.
Aliens are real.
Over the last couple of
I've
years.
been to Area 51. All these code words that triggered my FBI guys like, stop. You need to stop.
Exactly. Come on now. Keep it calm. We got enough to do.
When is Charlotte coming back? From Seattle.
From what I was told, she would be back this weekend.
Because, girl, when you listen to this episode, you can get back real quick because we got some promo to do. We got some stuff to do.
You know, I tried to call her, but I'm like, you know what? That bitch is on vacation. She probably don't want to hear from me.
If it's not letting the cat out the bag, per se, we finally, last episode, we talked about bringing this show live at the bar. And so we finally got it approved. And we are going to bring that Little Gay Talk Show over to Buddy's to do like a live session in front of people, things of that nature, and just interview random guests. I'm gonna try to line up a few like for sure guests to like come on and talk to. I think one of them I'm gonna reach out to him and let him see what he thinks. The owner of Buddy's, he's very like social media driven, things of that nature. So he'll love. I know for a fact he'll just love to show up on there. And he's a really interesting guy to talk to. Very.
Is he hot?
He's cutie. He's a cute ginger. Real cute.
Oh, he's a ginger?
Yeah,
you know what? I need to mark that off my list.
Okay, and he's a leather daddy.
Okay.
Christopher, if you're listening.
And he's a leather daddy. Okay, well then I need to... I don't know. I mean, me and leather daddy.
But when you look at him, you would never suspect that he was a leather daddy. One day he came in, was it for Halloween or something? And an event that we hate, and he just came in full gear. And I was like, you really own this stuff? He's like, yep, I do.
And I love the leather. Don't get me wrong. I love the leather community.
He pulls off the leather look. No bullshit. He will like put on. It's one of those few people that when you see them in that full outfits and the full gear, and you're like, okay, now I see what certain parts are made for, certain pieces. He's one of those people.
Yeah, but when they go into,
I just order my shit off of Amazon. Hope it doesn't crack halfway through the pleather doesn't crack halfway through wearing it.
Well, back a couple of times ago. I dated a leather daddy, but it got to
What is that like, dating a leather daddy? Like
well, he was also into BDSM, which I had never been into before, and was always curious about.
Not a bad thing because it's mild to hardcore.
Yeah, exactly, and it's it's not my taste.
For those that don't know, what is BDSM? Just spell it out for them.
This is a gay talk show. If y'all don't know what BDSM is, y'all need to
surprised.
Google it.
What if you
Google it? Okay,
you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. It might be that 18-year-old twink that just came out the closet. Like,
I don't even think I remember what BDSM. Oh, I'm sorry, bondage, discipline, sadomasochism. Yes, exactly. So it's.
Can we get kinky and ask what your role was? If you're comfortable sharing,
I was trying for the submissive role.
Yeah,
and there were certain aspects that I liked, and other aspects that I went no.
Submissive in this thing of like I'll do whatever sexually, or submissive of like slap me around and call me your bitch.
Okay, well he had a full dungeon, so we tried. He had sorry.
Your Grindr's going off.
No, that's sorry. That's
he's got the pro version, the paid the monthly subscription.
Yes, on my computer, which you cannot do.
He's got the desktop and mobile version.
I told you,
she's on the go.
I told you, it's Growler and Scruffy. It's
that's Grindr. The Growler ringtone. Got it.
Right, as soon as the moment, I think Grindr came out when I was maybe about 37, 38.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm like, I'm too old for that.
Okay.
I know it's just going to be the kids.
The only time that I get on Grindr is legit when I go to the gym and I see a hot fucking daddy. And if we do the eye contact thing from a distance, I'm like, let me see if this motherfucker is on, just to see. Sure enough, the blank profile. What's up, bro? Oh, hey. Who's this? Hi.
You know what I have discovered about social media over the years is that when I go to the bars and then someone sends me a message and then I'm like looking going, oh, well, he's cute. And everything else. And then I look and it's like
they're next to you. Which I've seen it happen many a times.
Yeah, it's happened to me several times. And I'm like, and every time I always say the same thing. You couldn't walk up to me and say hello.
No, they won't. They won't.
I mean, you are like, hey, can I see your profile pic and blah, blah,
right.
your private pic, which there's nothing, honestly, there's nothing in my private pic but other pics of me.
Okay.
You're not going to find any dick pics or any of that stuff. I'm weird.
No, you're not, because I don't share dick pics.
I don't share dick pics.
In this day and age, I don't care to.
Okay. I will admit that maybe there's been one or two instances where it has happened, but you had to be so sexy or the conversation was so hot that I went, you know what?
You got me, so I'm going to send it to you. I don't care.
Fuck it. But they were long distance and I really care.
Now, I won't send them, but if like I'm talking to that person, they want to see it, I'll show them on my phone type thing. As awkward as that is, it's like, I don't want to send you a dick pic. I'm sorry.
And I think my dick is shy because every time I try to take a picture of my dick, it will not get to full erection. It will not. It will not. I mean, I'll get fully erect.
Damn it, perform.
And I'll get fully erect, and then I'll put my camera in front of it, and then it'll just go. Woo.
I think that's actually a common issue. That is actually a common issue. Because you lose the concentration of from like. It being concentrated on it being up and going to like your focus is shifting to like make sure the picture's so you lose the train of thought as you're holding your piece in one hand, the phone in the other, and then you're like, I'm trying to get the perfect angle, and then you're forgetting about what you originally started with. That it just
and it was suggested to me by someone that in order to take the perfect dick pic, put some porn on in the background. That way you're so focused on the porn when you take the picture that you'll stay hard.
That, or you can record a video yourself and then screenshot the good parts. So you're not having to think about, just make sure you angle your camera the way you want it, where you want to be seen. Do your thing.
I don't think that would work for me because I would be so judgy
on your own self.
On my own self.
I am my worst critic when it comes to my own dick pics.
Exactly. I'm like, I don't think the light was right on this, or the angle that it was at was just not what it just didn't.
A 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd be like, it just doesn't feel like a dick pic. You know,
it's not gallery worthy.
Yeah, it's not erotic enough. It just looks trashy.
I'm not that girl.
It just looks like I just flagrantly just took a dick pic, which, by the way, I can't do.
Okay.
Yes, I would be super judgy about it, and I would want to art it up, put all kinds of filters on it.
Not the filter.
Oh yes, it would be filtered to death.
Go into like Photoshop, make it perfectly. Just
You put my dick up next to a Kardashian and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference after all the photos. I'm telling you. After all the filters that I would use on it, you would not be. And I'm not making fun. You know, I don't have no ill will towards the Kardashians. Right. I've never watched their show, not once. I know who they are.
I used to watch that show. And it was like to a point where like I went halfway through, like, what did they go? I think they went on for like 12 plus seasons. And I started out the first 5 seasons strong, and after that, it just died out for me.
And they've remained the number one show in that entire 12 years. So it was a shock when they said that they were going to, they were done.
It was time, though, because it was going to come to a point in time where, like, okay, we know them, we know their formula, we know how they operate, we know how they handle gossip.
3 of them are billionaires. Who the fuck can't? They don't need to be on TV anymore.
Speaking of the Kardashians, how do you feel about Kanye and Jeffree Star?
Here's the thing.
Be honest.
I'm gonna be honest.
Say it.
If I thought he would hook up, if he was gonna hook up with one of the makeup girls, I didn't think it would be Jeffree Star. Yeah. I thought it would be someone slightly more attractive. No offense to you, Jeffree Star.
Okay.
But I just thought, I mean, she's like super punk rock and all this other stuff, but
I'm not surprised.
I think he would hook up with someone a little bit more classy.
I'm not surprised because I feel like
but Kanye, I don't know. Is that okay? First of all, I'm a little podcast, so let me make sure I put this out here. Okay, allegedly, allegedly, because I don't want to get sued by nobody. Kanye, right? I'll have to remind Kanye, I got $5 in the bank.
I got a ring light. Is that cool? Does that work for you, Kanye?
After the depreciation on my equipment, you're not going to get what you're going to get because I bought it a year.
No, don't say alleged, because if Kanye even does sue you, you know how much exposure you're going to get, how much media.
Well, that's true.
So yeah, you can have this company. I'll start me a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Take the Little Gay Talk Show. Now we're doing a Big Gay Talk Show.
As it's been said on RuPaul so many times, you can have 51% of this company. If you won't, I'll just start a new one.
Period.
But
so Kanye, please sue us. We encourage it.
Okay, first of all, Julio, you just every now and then guest host. Don't tell Kanye to come sue me. I don't want him to come sue me.
We need the exposure.
Okay,
we want the attention.
Need it that bad.
You know how much clout I would get off of this?
What if Jeffree Star was the one who sued us?
Even better. They have like 100 million followers combined.
I don't need Rich Lux coming.
We can handle it.
I don't need Rich Lux knocking on my door telling my girl, what you doing?
Okay.
Don't do that, girl.
I'm not surprised by Kanye and Jeffree if allegedly it's true.
I think it's silly though. I mean, it just doesn't sound.
I feel like I'm a Kanye fan, and I was from the College Dropout, his first album. I feel like he's dropped the context clues throughout. He's like Tyler, the Creator, in my opinion. Like, they just keep dropping the hints and the clues and the wordings in their lyrics to let you know, like, yeah, I do, but I don't.
You know, it has been said in the rap community that he's not. There's a lot of there's a round of rappers on the DL.
You know how I'm a conspiracy theory queen. There's a conspiracy theory about rappers and being. So apparently, if once they're the big famous rappers, once they get initiated into fame and money and all that stuff, one of the initiation parts is that they have to have sex with another man, so they can have something against them if they ever turn on the.
That sounds like something that what's his name, Suge Knight would do.
Yes,
and Suge Knight is imposing enough to make you go, okay, I guess I don't have no choice. I'm having sex with a dude. Please don't kill me.
But Kanye, over the years since the beginning of his career. You can just pick up on, like, even as a gay man, even like as a music fan, and I'm very lyric driven, and I'm a visual person. The way he carries himself, you can just tell the man had like at least minimum in his lifestyle bisexual minimum. I'm not saying he's gay. I claim that I think he's at least bisexual.
You know what? I have, and I said this.
Well, more than bisexual. Technically, he's with the. Was Jeffree considered part of the trans community or no? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. He might be non-binary.
Okay.
Yeah,
because he doesn't dress like a man, but he's more feminine. Yeah.
I think he's more non-binary, but I don't think he's.
Have you ever seen any of his content on YouTube?
No, I don't. You know, like I said, the makeup videos.
Now,
I didn't understand the wars.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm sitting here going, "There's a war."
They did that shit for views and clicks and clouds. I personally not a makeup person myself. I would only watch Jeffrey because I thought he was funny. I just thought he was naturally funny, and I like the shade he would throw, and I like the way he would say certain things. Welcome back to my channel.
Now there's a kid who does makeup videos. He's just super cute.
Which one?
I'm trying to remember his name.
James
Charles. I said this she's
been called out a few times by the internet.
Yeah, I have said this a couple of times, and I think I said this because Charlotte and I talked about this a little bit a while ago. I said if Kanye was going to go for anybody, he would go for James Charles. I just think James Charles,
out of all people,
I just think James Charles is a little bit more sophisticated.
He's too vanilla for Kanye.
And that's what
He's too fucking vanilla.
I just thought Jeffree Star was too off the beaten path.
James Charles likes the straight boys. He's the gay guy that chases the straight guys. Like that's his thing. We all know. Jeffree is more rock and roll. He's very LA vibe.
See, I'm confused by all of that. I thought Jeffree was the one who had some issues with some. Does James have issues with straight men? Did he have some
James
drama
Charles,
with?
He had dramas with. He would chase the straight man and got caught a time or two trying. He was just a.
He sounds like an old school gay because that's exactly what we did. We just chased the straight men.
So yeah.
Now we don't. Now, and I'm like I said, I've said this before.
Chasing straight men is fun at times. It's fucking exhausting because to me personally, it's a challenge, and I've only been successful maybe like twice.
Oh, I have been successful many times.
And I'm the kind that would ask you, what's the pro tips? How do you do it? What's your approach? What's your...
Oh, I didn't... Honestly, 90% of the times that I've hooked up with these guys, I didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
I would literally sit at a bar sometimes by myself just because
Straight bar or gay bar?
Straight bar.
Okay.
Because there are several in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, and they're in walking distance. So sometimes when I get out of work and I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like going out to the bars.
Yeah.
And that would mean getting all dressed up and getting pretty, and I don't want to do all of that. And I felt like a straight woman for the first time. I'm just going to go to a straight bar.
Okay.
Where I don't have to worry about nobody trying to pick me up.
Yep.
I can relax. And just
I want to be seen and not
exactly.
heard.
I don't have to worry about how I'm dressed or
I don't want to be that girl.
Which queen is judging me in the corner and all this other stuff. I can just walk in and just be myself. And
isn't that crazy that that's kind of our culture?
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Culture and the bar culture.
I just think it's funny that it's kind of flipped because now I understand women and why they like coming to gay bars. Sometimes.
I'm a big believer that the gay bar culture is what you make it. Mm-hmm. It is what you make it. If you come in shy, intimidated, and you get judged and you let people judge you, they're just going to walk all over you.
Okay, you know what? But you young though. I mean,
I'm 35. I'm turned 35 this month.
35, but you still young. You're still younger
technically,
than me.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. Back in the old days, it was all about the judge.
Now, I feel like if you walk in, regardless of who you are, as long as you have some kind of confidence to you, it doesn't matter what your confidence is. Not arrogant. Because there are some that are confidently arrogant.
That's a very
but
thin
just
line.
confident to where if somebody throws shade in your direction, you can throw it back and be and then kiki about it afterwards. Like, haha, you're funny, girl. But if you take shade personal, it's like you need to. Basically, the gay bar scene, you have to have tough skin. Skin, because it's like you said, very judgmental. You can be sitting in a corner and somebody's looking at you up and down, or even if you say, hi, how you doing? I'm not interested.
And half the time, you don't even know why they looking you up and down. Sometimes they just looking.
For multiple reasons.
Yeah, it could be 1,000 reasons to have. And 90% of the time, and I learned this as I got older, 90% of the time has nothing to do with you.
Agreed.
It has nothing to do with you. And the little times that it does, well, you probably shouldn't have wore that outfit. Let's just say that.
Okay. Honestly.
You probably shouldn't have wore that outfit, but if you felt confident
this
in
was
it.
not my best thrift purchase.
Yeah, exactly. But
I still wore it out.
But I was, when I came out, there was zero confidence when I would go out to the bars. I mean, literally, I would leave the bars crying because I always felt like.
With all due respect, you came from a different era of the bar scene. You when you started going out to the bar scene, there was no social media. There was no cell phones. That didn't exist. You came from an era when people actually had to connect person to person.
I remember.
And that's not trying to date, like put an age on you or like.
But I do have to like tell you this though, because this was the 90s when I first started coming out. So going out to the bar. So the funny thing is that
back then, let's clear it up for the young listeners. Back then in the 90s, you had to have a house phone was your cell phone.
Yeah, exactly.
A pay phone was normal to use outside in the corner.
You didn't carry a cell phone on you until the late 90s, early 2000s.
Correct. And the Nokia,
and it was just a little flip phone at the time. And even then,
when cell phone plans were like 30 minutes for $100.
You didn't use your phone
at all. Girl, let me call you back on the landline.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like $15 a minute. I'm not, girl, unless it's an emergency.
But in that time, in that era, you were forced to connect with people more directly than now. Now there's so many like escapes of. Nowadays, you can't get to know a person just by getting to know them in person. Nowadays, I can look at you, Joel, and be like, before I can even, let's say we've never met, and if this is my first time coming to your podcast, I could have looked you up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, if you have any. I would have listened to a few episodes before I came here, and then I would have had you figured out before I even got the chance to meet you.
Exactly. And that's just exactly the way it is now. Because now, and I didn't think I would be one of these people.
Yeah.
But even now, if I'm talking to somebody, I'm looking up all their social media just to see where they're at, what kind of friends they have,
where they surround, get the vibe, get the.
And I know they're doing the same with me, and
Correct.
I'm not as visible on social media that much. I might chime in.
I'm not either. I am to an extent.
I might chime in every now and then if there's something important to say, or
I am to an extent. Like
if I'm feeling cute.
My social media exposure comes with my job. I'm a bartender in the neighborhood, so that comes with it. Because people want to know what you do in and out of the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm also one of those people that when I'm at home, I tend to be private. I like my own time. I don't like my time being interfered with. I mean, I'm one of those people that what I post is what I want you to see. That's me.
So
because I've had people tell me, "Hey,
exactly.
You really don't post much, or I really don't see you hang out with something." Who do you? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's the point. I don't want you to know everything about me. In this age, in 2021, I don't want you to know everything about me.
Because I have the friends who literally post everything.
Yes, sir.
From the time they woke up in the morning to the time they go to bed.
What the fuck they ate.
What they ate.
When they took the trash out.
What their poop look in the bathroom.
And they call that microblogging, by the way. That's the technical term for micro. They microblog their lives. And I'm like, sometimes it takes away the magic of the person. I feel.
Exactly.
When you know too much about them, like I know about you, but if I know your intimate details, like you just said, this is what I ate, this is what I'm doing right now, and little things like I feel like people should just post highlights of their lives, not the details and intimate details. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, and that's exactly what I do. I just post highlights here and there, or if, like I said, over the summer when everybody's worried about everybody, just to let everybody know, hey, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Everything's going good. I'm fine.
Exactly.
I might need a mental health professional after this, but yes.
Update here and there.
But I'm fine.
Yeah, just highlights. I feel like when you post too goddamn much, it's like at that point, in my personal opinion, I think who are you trying to impress at that point? Who are you? Who are we keeping this up for? Like, do it for you. Be yourself at all times. And whatever you post, sometimes it could be a cute post of you in a cute picture, and the next one, let it be something normal, rough, or you don't have to be perfect every time you post.
I should have seen this coming a long time ago because I met a gentleman a long time ago in the 90s.
Which app did you meet him on?
It was hilarious because I walked up to him. He's got two beepers. For you kids, Google that. What a beeper is, because I ain't got time to explain it. He had two beepers, and he had two cell phones on him. And I'm like,
God damn.
I said, you know what? For some strange reason, I think this is going to be the future. Because at the time, cell phones were suddenly becoming you were like, oh, my God. I don't have to be at home to be on the phone. I mean, it was new. Even when the internet came out, it was new. I was already on it.
Yes.
As soon as I got my first computer, I was already on it.
I remember that.
I was already on it. And by the way, I was in message boards before Grinder, Growler, and all this other stuff. Where if you wanted to hook up with somebody, you did it through the message boards.
Adam for Adam.
Yes,
I have a friend.
No. We're talking about you. You talk about Adam for Adam and all that. I'm talking about way back when it was DOS.
I have a friend that till this day still uses that app, and I laugh at him for like, you're like one of the last of the Mohicans.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. But Adam for Adam that's not even old. Old is when you're still using DOS, which most people do not remember what DOS is.
I don't even know what that is.
Before Windows 95.
Oh, okay. Operating system.
Yes, it was operating system.
I thought it was the name of an app.
There was a gay message board in Houston, and I'm like, I don't even know how I found it. I think a friend of mine told me about it. And
for somebody like me who doesn't know, what is DOS?
DOS is disk operating. It's a disk operating system for super old computers. It was just a blue screen, and you had to type in commands. To get it. This was before a little bit, right around the time when Windows 95 was starting to become the real official operating system for most computers, so people could go back and forth between the two.
Right. And
DOS was what I used for some programs, but not. I wasn't super in the DOS.
So in this program, how did you connect with people? How did you log
over a
in?
modem? No, it was over a phone modem. We had the dial-up phone modems.
Girl, not the dial-up.
Dial-up. Get off the phone. I'm on the internet.
Didn't you hate that when they pick up the phone?
I need to use the phone. Oh my God. It'd be like, okay, can I call you back in half an hour? I mean, I'll get back to you in half an hour.
You remember getting on the internet at certain times? Because you knew the connection was going to be better at certain times.
At certain times, I was
daytime. You knew everyone and their mama was going to be on the internet.
I knew the internet was going to be a thing,
but
because
if you got on the internet
fell in love
after
with
midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, bitch, that internet ran, bitch. That shit was fast.
I knew that the internet was going to be a thing. I fell in love with the internet at the very early stages of the internet.
Yes,
and I learned I hated DOS. Oh my God, DOS was horrible.
So how did you talk to people on DOS?
Well, you just sit at a computer. You just sat at the computer and you look for the message boards. They had all kinds of message boards for gay, straights.
Okay, so this was like a text-based, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's a text-based.
So you pulled up the computer, blue screen, you typed the command. Yeah. What command did you type?
Well, you just, once you found the groups.
Because there was no Hey Siri or Alexa, find me a
No. You had to do everything manually. There was no Hey Alexa or any of that stuff. Everything had to be done manually.
Control-Alt-Gay.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to know some people who knew how to do it.
Oh, okay.
Because, like I said, I'm not a big technical geek.
Yes, so you had to be computer savvy back in those days.
Yeah, so I had to learn how to be computer savvy back in the days and to talk to other gays who were super computer savvy. And by the way, I love a gay nerd. I just want to put that out there.
Just throwing that out there.
I love a gay nerd. Talk to me about some stuff that Talk to me about some stuff. Trust me. Okay. I'm one of the biggest nerds out there, so I love it. I was talking to...
Is there group chats for gay nerds?
Yes, there's gay gamers.
Because I know nowadays there's a group chat for damn near everything.
Yeah, there's literally a group chat. Now, if you're a gamer, there's gay gamers from Houston.
Yeah, I follow them, the Houston gamers.
Yeah, Houston, yeah.
I remember I went to some of their early, initial beginning parties when they started the...
I've been trying to get one of these guys from one of the guys who set up the groups to come onto the show and talk about it, but they keep going back and forth with me. So,
girl, bye.
I'm like, I'm going to have one of these.
You motherfuckers are listening. Please get off your high horse and get on this show here, right now.
So I know that I'm going to have you. I think they're waiting for me to I think they're waiting for the show to be big enough, but I've already had.
F all that. If you don't get on now. And then you're just going to wait till it gets bigger. Okay. We might not even acknowledge you when it gets bigger.
Exactly. And by the way, speaking of bigger, I had oh, Lord. Okay, let me come back to that. I'm going to come back to that thought in a second. But I did have someone big who was starring in a national commercial.
Nice. Oh, I saw her. Yeah.
I had BlackBerry on.
Yes.
I had BlackBerry on during, yes. And she was fun. I had so much fun.
BlackBerry as a drag queen
as a drag and as a person, hilarious. I learned so much about I learned so much about him.
He is savvy.
So he has sat down on this show, and he did a national commercial.
Yes, for Facebook.
For Facebook. So,
which I'm proud. By the way, Darius, if you're listening, I'm proud of you. That is amazing.
That is amazing.
I feel like I don't know why Houston has not been exposed to like RuPaul's, but when they do,
Oh, like we talked about that a little bit, and if y'all want to listen to that episode, y'all can go back and listen to that episode. But we talked about that for a little bit.
Like there are some Houston queens that just bring it, and I love watching the entertainers in our city, the ones that put the work in. The outfits, the hair, the makeup, the looks. Some of them have their own shows throughout and they're very big. And I'm like, how the fuck have they not been featured or blown up or put on these big platforms?
I do have a theory.
Okay.
And I've had Blackberry on, I had Cairo on. So I've had a couple of drag queens. I know I almost said Honeybee. I haven't had Honeybee on yet.
I met her once. Really nice.
She's super nice from what I hear. But I've had several drag queens on from Houston.
Yes.
And I think the consensus is the same when it comes to RuPaul's Drag Race. They're just not interested. They're really just not interested. And
how? We're the 4th, 5th largest city in the United States.
They're just not interested. And let me tell you the theory on why. Because I picked this up from season 13.
Now I'm getting irritated when you say, like, not you in particular, but when shows like that don't look at Houston as you guys aren't important.
I have been saying that for the last
who are you?
years. And Rich Lux did a documentary back in, I think, 2008, maybe 2009.
I feel like that's on some gatekeeper bullshit. Like, you can't sit with us.
And I honestly think that Houston might feel like that they're too snotty or too good for RuPaul's Drag Race.
No, I disagree.
But that's neither here nor but the queens from Drag Race who were here in Houston, who have performed in Houston, love Houston
I think
drag.
What you mean by snotty, and maybe this is my interpretation of it. We have some amazing, talented queens who are self-sufficient, who typically they run their own shit. They make their own promos, their own outfits, they do their own makeups, they have their own social media. They're powerhouses amongst themselves, which can, if to the person who's not at that level, can look at it and say, "Oh, they think they're the shit." But no, they worked up to get to that level, and and then when you get another higher platform than them on a national stage, international stage, saying, "You're good, but you're not good enough for us," that's irritating.
It really is irritating to me because I'm like, RuPaul's been on now for almost 13 years, and we still don't have any.
I'm sure RuPaul's come through Houston in her time before the show, so
I'm sure she's got some audition tapes. I'm sure she's come through Houston and everything else.
I'm gonna need her to stop fronting, and if you're listening, Ru, get your shit together. Stop having those ass kisses around you, and please put some Houston queens on the show.
I think that's more World of Wonder than anything else. But
is this the part where we say allegedly so we don't get sued?
Allegedly.
You know what? F that, bitch. Come for me.
But here's the thing. I honestly think that because of how the show has evolved and changed now, season 13 has really opened my eyes. All the queens who got picked for maybe the last 3 or 4 years, they have teams now who get their shit together beforehand. So they go through RuPaul gives them a list of everything they have to have before they come on the show.
Yes.
So they hire teams to get all the looks together, to do all this stuff and everything else. And I think the biggest complaint, especially among RuPaul fans, is the fact that like Simone.
Yeah.
Simone does
not. And by the way, I don't watch enough. I'm not against RuPaul. I don't watch enough of it. So you're educating me right now.
Okay, so Simone, who is like everybody's favorite right now, but I think that might have changed. Who was everybody's favorite to begin with, and has been a fan favorite for a little bit. This bitch don't know how to sew. I'm like, how do you not know how to sew? This show has been on the air for 13 years.
That's the shit that irritates me.
And you don't know how to sew? Your looks have been fantastic. Her looks have been amazing.
Now, there's 5 queens off the top of my head. And I don't want to name them because then I don't want to choose. I don't want to sound like favoritism, but I'm a fan of theirs. And they do all that. And why do they not deserve that spotlight? But I feel like female, like the ones, I'm sorry, like entertainers like Darius or like Blackberry, who are chasing their own, they're doing their own thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And not necessarily having to go through the RuPaul.
They don't have to go through the RuPaul system.
That's impressive. That's why I was like, congratulations.
And I think that's why I'm actually
And
as far as Houston Queens are concerned,
Yeah.
I honestly think that I'm not really. I would love to have them on RuPaul's Drag Race, but if they feel like that they can do it without RuPaul, then go for it.
Exactly. And RuPaul shouldn't be like the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's it. I'm only doing this to make it to RuPaul. No, that's not your goal. Your goal should be for longevity. Your goal should be, what if you do go viral? We've had some queens from Houston. For example, Adriana LaRue went viral for doing the Selena number.
Yes.
And she's an amazing performer. She's also one of those that's very self-sufficient. Her and her sister, Rain LaRue, they're very Rain, Lisha. I mean, I could go on and on for the Houston Queens. All the ones that I see the work that they put into everything. So that's why I get so frustrated. I get passionate about the topic because it's irritating for me that on the national, international stage, shows like that won't even, and it doesn't have to be those queens, but at least they haven't acknowledged our city and how long they've been on.
13 years.
Thank you. And in 13 years, you cannot think of Houston as a top, and it's one of the top 5 cities. I mean, we're not, okay, you've done New York Queens, LA Queens, Miami Queens, you've done every other city, but what the fuck? And what's your personal vendetta, Rue? I'm asking you.
I've been on the internet with a friend of mine who knows the history of drag from 70s, 80s, 90s. I've desperately been trying to get him on the show to talk about that, but he's super shy and not, and I'm, like I said,
bring him around me. I'll bring that shyness out of him.
You're literally sitting in my apartment, relaxed.
Wait,
chill. You're not in front of a studio audience.
Right.
So you can't sit down and talk and share.
Look, bitch, if you're listening right now, what's your friend's name?
Oh, I don't want to. I'm not going to say it on there.
I'll say it.
Because I'm still trying to get him. I'm still trying to get him. Now, I'm still trying to get him on. So
look, bitch, just get it together and come out here. Yeah, honestly, it's a round table. We got it's a comfortable setting. It's a chill environment. Like he said, you're not in front of an audience. You're just talking.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I really want people to understand Houston drag, and I think that he can talk about the history of Houston drag to the point that people would understand it a bit better. I'm still working on it.
We have several queens. I'm telling you, we have like a good top 10 queens that like just come out, they perform, they bring the numbers, they're social media savvy, they're promotional savvy, they create their own stuff. I could go, and whether you
because a lot of people don't understand this,
whether you love them or hate them, but like any drag queen, there are some drag queens that I work with or I've that I'm a fan of. That if you ask one person, what do you think about so and so? Oh, I hate that bitch. Oh, this and that, her attitude, blah blah blah. And then you'll talk to another person. I love her. She's amazing. She's the best.
If you're in this business, somebody's always going to love you and somebody's always going to hate you. It's just it is what it is.
You just have to have tough skin for it.
You just have to have tough skin. And like I said, I remember. Well, I don't remember because I wasn't a part of it. I really wish I was. When Houston drag was the shit.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have friends who were a part of that, who I've been trying to get them to talk about it on the show, but they, for one reason or the other, have been super shy about being on the show. But like I said, I provide a very comfortable environment to do it. We're not in front of an audience. Just stop with the excuses. Yeah. I'm going to hunt you down until I drag you kicking and screaming.
And it's an experience. This is definitely like since the last time when we did the first episode that I was featured on season 2, I was excited about that. I was happy with the results. I was happy with everything. Like I was mentioning before we got on, before we started recording, like I cringed once or twice because I've heard myself talk. And that was the first time I heard myself talk in conversation like that. Like I've heard myself on the microphone many a times, but this was the first time I actually heard myself say something, hear my sentences, hear my train of thoughts. And as I was listening to myself, I just kept I kept remembering being here, saying it, and what my actions were at that moment.
I mean, because the guests I've had on the show, some of them were like, well, I don't know how I feel in front of the mic. And then as soon as I put the headphones on and we start talking, I can't get them to shut up. I can't.
Just
and
at me next time,
it's
Joel.
a wonderful thing, by the way.
Joel, just at me next time.
It's a wonderful thing because, like I said, I'm not... Julio, ain't nobody. It's not about you.
Okay, honestly, it's never about me. That's the truth.
But the thing is that every guest I've had on the show, well, like I said, with the exception of Blackberry, because she's a professional.
Yes,
she's used to doing all this stuff.
Yes,
she was actually surprised how much stuff I knew about her. But I do my homework when it comes to certain guests.
Nice.
So
fuck me right then. Okay, cool.
Okay. Well, I mean,
he didn't even know my name. I'm joking.
That's a certain person's not here, so I'm not gonna. She's like, well, I'm having this person on, and I'm like, I don't know nothing about him. Can you send me information? And she's like, well, here's a picture. And I'm like, that's not information. I mean,
that's all you need to know.
I mean, I've seen him
He's
already.
A man of mystery.
I've already seen him already. He's all right looking, and it's whatever. But
he's a ugly bitch. She ain't shit. Nobody likes her.
Well, you know what? We've reached the point in the show. We're going to take a little bit of a break.
Okay.
Because, at some point, I'm going to have to insert commercials.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, come on, sponsors.
Ugh. So,
sponsored by.
Well, this first half of the show is, of course, is brought to you by Bitch Boy Undies.
Yes.
We're still trying to come up with a slogan for him.
Okay.
For right now, Bitch Boy Undies, the undies for every man. That's all I can come up with right now.
Beach Boy Undies. Get your foreskin split.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So this first half will be brought to you by
That was one of the
Boy
things I
Undies.
cringed at when I was telling him about the underwear he made for me, and I was just like, yeah, the way my foreskin. I was like, why did I go in a whole conversation about?
Well, we can talk about that when we talk about other stuff. I'm still curious about the foreskin thing. So, all right. So we're gonna take a little bit of a break, maybe 30 seconds, because I think I need to make a cocktail.
Yes, I do too.
It's not gonna be a mess like it was last week.
Okay.
Because I'm not doing Jim Beam this
week. I brought her some vodka.
Thank you, because vodka I can handle. It turns out that bourbon I can't.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so
she melted onto that chair.
I melted into this chair. In fact, I woke up in this chair.
And when I heard the podcast towards the end, I noticed that me and Scott would be on one topic and just came in out of nowhere with a whole different.
I could tell by what point, by listening to it, that I started off okay, and then I went
shut down. Just the lights went off,
and it's like, oh my god, it's time to turn the lights off on this bitch.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back. And we are back. We've made ourselves successful cocktails. Yes. We've got ice in our glasses.
I'm drinking whiskey.
He's got his whiskey on the rocks. His bottle is right next to me. I have to go to the freezer to get my vodka, which is fine because it keeps me from, if I'm doing a little work, I'm not falling off the chair by the end of it,
or getting glued to it.
Exactly, or getting glued to it. So we're back with I'm going to say my temporary co-host.
Hey, yeah. Fill in.
Let's say with my guest co-host, Julio Bricenyo.
Hey.
Did I say that right?
You did actually perfectly. Thank you.
I did take Spanish classes. Hello. So I know how to pronounce, I-A-E or U. It's not perfect, but I remember it.
Good, so, actually.
Yeah. So I knew when I put in the description, I kind of like used phonetic spelling for your name, so people were like, "Is it Bryce? No," or because I couldn't do the little enye. Yes, I couldn't do the little enye.
Yeah, in the American keyboard, and like for example, let's say electric bill, bank account, I have to spell it the American way, Bricenyo. Mm-hmm. So that's why I get a lot of Bryce No. Is it Bryce No?
Is it Bryce No?
Mr. Britton. So I at this point in the game, I don't get bothered if people mispronounce or misspell. I'll tell them what it is. Like, it's Bricenyo, but it comes with the territory. It's kind of like when I bartend, I respond to certain names. Hey, bartender, excuse me, mister, hey, you. And it's like, huh?
Well, it's not like you wear a name. You don't wear a name tag.
No, I don't.
Yeah, it's not like you're wearing a name tag, so it's not.
The one thing I don't fucking tolerate is, hey, the pits, the excuse me.
Is that what you're?
The snaps?
Oh, it's a snap for me. It's a snap right there,
girl. I'm not Fifi or Fufu.
It's a snap for me.
Snapping at me for?
It's a snap for me. And I have waited tables that I have bartended, and I hate it more when I'm waiting tables because it's like, excuse me.
And that's the beauty about That's what I love about bartending is I can be outspoken when needed to. And not be in trouble for it.
Oh no, every restaurant I've ever worked in, you don't get in trouble for that. A manager, I will literally walk over to a manager and go, they just snapped at me, you can have the table, and I'll walk off, and that's it. And then the manager will show up and go, hey, your server has moved on to another table.
Because of your fucking attitude.
Yeah, so I'm going to take over. And I'll even tell them, you can have the tip. Yep. I don't want it because it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's now you can leave them.
And
Little,
I've said that a few times, even in the bar scene as well. I've had guys that are like, I will tip you more if you... No, you know what? I don't need your shit that bad.
now, but as a bartender, I've also had to go to the other side where it's like, so what you doing after work?
Ooh.
How you doing? Are you married or single?
The perks.
You
Reap the benefits.
Well, sometimes,
You get the pick of the litter.
Sometimes. Well, I've worked in mostly straight places, so it's gone back and forth.
You got the closeted guys.
I've either gone with it's either been the closeted guys or amazingly enough, and I always find this amazing. It's been women, and I'm like
you know, I'm gay, right?
I thought I pretty much gave you the knowledge that I was gay.
I break so many straight hearts in the sense of like they look at me, they fall in love with me, I can turn you back. I get that challenge all the time.
I've been hearing that since 1979.
Yeah, I'm like, Mama, that ship sailed like over 10 years ago.
And in fact,
and they get so mad, so upset too.
You want to know the craziest thing that happened? The craziest thing that happened to me was there's a little bar literally 3 blocks from my house called TK Bitterman's.
Okay.
And it's just a little neighborhood. I love dive bars.
Hole in the wall?
I love dive bars,
I
hole in the walls, because people are super friendly.
Yes.
Every dive bar that I've ever been to, if I'm sitting there having a conversation with someone, and I don't know why I feel the need to do this, I think it's because of some repression I had in the past.
Okay.
But I always let them know up front, hey, just to let you know, I'm gay.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have a problem with it, because I don't want to deal with listening to the word faggot or any of that other crap in some conversation we're having.
The ignorance that comes with it.
The ignorance.
That route.
And I have to tell you, in Houston, Texas, every dive bar I've been to, I've always been welcomed.
Okay.
Always. Nice. Even in Pasadena.
And I think that also has to do with your presence and your attitude when you show up to those places. That means that you come in and you're a warm energy. You're not there trying to insult the staff. You're not there to make a scene. You just come there, you chill, and that's
honestly, I'm one of those people who honestly can say, I don't really.
we in the service industry gravitate towards the respectful, nice, kind, and the appreciative. Thank you so much for doing that. Oh, I appreciate it. Oh, I'm sorry. Whenever you're ready, I don't want. That's appreciated.
Yeah.
Thank you. Versus the excuse me, I've been waiting. I was here before her. I'm sorry, you're too loud. Can you turn it down? Can you tell the DJ to play my favorite song? No, bitch.
But the thing is with me is because I've been in the service industry for so long.
Same.
I have to deal with so many assholes to the point where I'm like, you know what? I just want to go to the bar.
Joe,
I just want a cocktail.
How many years were you in the service industry?
25.
Oh shit, you're an OG.
Yeah,
you're
I'm
a
OG.
fucking OG. You're a vet.
OG, yeah. So,
I've been in it at least 15 years.
25, and trust me, I'm ready to
My
get
hat's
this.
off to you, sir.
I'm ready. Amazingly enough, right now I'm just working weekends because I'm like, that's all I can handle.
Yeah.
I have been in this business for so long, and when you deal with people as much as I deal with people, and you have to deal with all their attitudes and their kids and all this other stuff, when I go to a place, all I'm thinking about is I want a cocktail and I want quiet.
Yes.
I don't really care about your life story.
Yes.
I don't really care about. I just want quiet, and then yet, and like I said, this goes back to a conversation we had. For some reason, this is how I end up in bed with a straight dude. Because I will literally sit there minding my own business.
Right.
All I want to do is have a cocktail and watch TV or whatever's going on.
Right.
And some dude will sit right next to me and start a conversation. And then and then the conversation.
What's up, bro?
If it's something that I really like, I am passionate about certain things.
Yeah.
And if it's something that I really like, I will get really engaged in that conversation.
Yes.
We'll have a great time and everything else. And then suddenly it's like, hey, you want to come back to my place and have more drinks and we can talk more? And I'm like, yes, we could do. Wait, can't do that. It's great to know you and all this other stuff, but I have to let you know that I'm gay and I don't want any misunderstanding or any of that stuff. So let me just put that on the table. And they're like, hey, I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't really care. And
I'm open-minded, bro.
I'm open-minded. And then, and then an hour or two later, I'm giving them head. So,
okay. And there we are. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, exactly. So it usually... Now, I will say this, with most of them, it's usually been about head. It's not really been full
sex or
full sex. Only in a few certain instances has it been full sex.
Yeah,
and I think and the few guys that I have been with when it has been, I think they came to the realization that they were either gay or bisexual.
Correct. And the fact that they were allowing it, that to me says bisexual. Minimum bisexual. When you're open to receive.
Yeah. And by the way, it's really weird. It's really weird because as someone who's versatile sexually, it's really weird when you tell me you're straight, but you're a fantastic bottom.
Okay.
And I'm like,
surprise.
Whoa.
Wait, I thought I was. Oh, okay.
I thought it was.
Okay.
Oh, wait. You want me to do you?
This is okay.
I'm confused.
Right.
You're talking about and here
you look around. Am I at the right house?
And this is one particular conversation that I thought was even funnier. You were talking about the bitch who did you wrong and everything else, and now you want me to. Okay. Now you want me to fuck you.
I mean, how you doing?
Okay. I guess we're doing this.
Okay.
And I would go into it thinking, well, he probably doesn't know what he's doing.
More specific, how good of a bottom were they? Well, did they go right in, or did they cry and flinch and say, whoa, slow it down?
In my mindset, I thought that I was going to have to be like, okay, so
taking it for the team.
He's gonna.
I'm
gonna have to be a little careful. I'm gonna have to do this and that and blah 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 blah.
And it wasn't like that.
No,
girl.
It was like.
Oh, she wasn't straight then.
No,
she wasn't.
I was
straight.
like,
no, ma'am.
Did he just wait? Did he just?
Did that go in without any?
And I don't mean any harm, but did he just swallow that whole with one flick? He just swallowed that whole.
And
it's like, oh my god, okay. I guess I don't have to worry about being careful.
But I'm not gay, though. It's the next, but I'm not gay. But I'm not gay, dude.
Mm-hmm. Well, I usually back in the day, and Oprah Winfrey actually coined the term "down low."
Yes, did she really?
Yeah, she actually coined the term "down low" because it was on her show that she would interview men who were married to women.
Yes.
And they would secretly go off and and this was at the height of the AIDS epidemic. So being down low was not a good thing to be.
Yes.
And this was more in the black community than anything else because in the black community, it's about masculinity.
It is.
And the more masculine you are, the better.
Same in the Hispanic community. Yes,
exactly.
And I'm Hispanic.
Yes, I know. And the fact of the matter is, I spent a lot of time vacillating between men in the black and Hispanic community.
Yep.
In the earlier days, and having to deal with all the machismo that goes with it, because it's like, hey, I could talk to you about how this bitch did this and that and blah 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 blah.
I love those machista, homophobic guys.
And
they're
then you're cuddling up to me in bed, going, "You know what? You were the best, daddy."
Okay.
And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
What the fuck? First of all,
they got off on you than they would on women.
Actually, I was actually kind of pissed because, and like I said, as a versatile guy, I spent more time being the top than the bottom. And I'm like, I started my gay career, so to speak, off as a bottom.
My gay career.
As a
Not
bottom.
even a lifestyle or just a career.
Yeah, I know.
So do you clock in every day like at 8?
I would clock in at 8 in the morning.
Are there weekends and holidays?
And weekends and holidays, I would just go full tilt. This was the 90s, so I'm just going full tilt.
Yeah.
Now I love what the kids are doing right now because no one identifies as anything. They're just like
open.
They're just like open about it. I actually think that I might be saposexual as well.
I don't know what that is, so you have to walk me through that.
Okay, that is someone who is sexually attracted to intelligence.
Oh, okay, sapiosexual.
Sapiosexual. I think I might have pronounced it wrong. And because I was in a situation, TK Bettermans, I'm going to bring this back on the table again. Amazing place as a dive bar because I got to sit in the conversation with 5 women who were all scientists.
Okay.
And they all were in different fields.
Okay.
And they were all sitting around talking. And they were all sitting around talking with me.
What kind of science?
I had an anthropologist. I had a chemical engineer.
Oh, shit, okay.
I had a biochemist. And I think I had one who was an environmental scientist.
A wide range of scientists.
So it was a wide range of scientists. And these are beautiful, intelligent women sitting around with me having and I had a physicist, which was amazing because I love
that.
I hated mathematics when I was growing up
Right.
because I was horrible at it.
It
turned out later that I found out I had a learning disability. So,
okay.
So I understood why I excelled.
I just want you to know that you are kind. You are important. You is special.
Okay. Okay, this is not the help. I don't know where you. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with my self-esteem or my intelligence. But most people, and which most people are surprised by because you're a bartender, you don't know anything. I'm like, you'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised how much we know.
First of all, I did go to college. Secondly, I know I didn't major in certain things, but I'm always about learning. So
I am too.
I'm always about learning. So,
and as a bartender, I feel like not even as a bartender. I'll take that back. It helps me as a bartender, but as an individual, because I am naturally a conversationalist and I love talking to different types of people, which fits in well with my current job, bartending. I'm one of those people that will go out of his way. I will go out of my way to actively look at the news, look at different topics, different points of views on every spectrum, everything you can think about, whether it's politics, sex, religion, cultures, food, cars, technology, whatever it is. I do my best to always stay somewhat updated on the topic, or at least know just enough to get by. So when people come to my bar and they're talking to, so for example, I might get someone like you who might be sit there and talk to me about a podcast. Like, oh, okay, I kind of know about podcasts. What do you do? Or I might get the next guy who's a lawyer, and I have to have at least know some law terms to get by in the conversation. Sometimes I'll get a person that comes in and they are a fashion designer or they're a interior designer. So I have to know the difference. Oh, you work with fabrics? Oh, you work with textures. Got it.
And I don't, honestly, here's the thing I'm starting to worry about, especially with the younger generation. I know everybody's trying to be a hustler. I know that last summer, when we weren't all working, we were all trying to find other sources of income. Right. And we're using the things that we have fun with, enjoying and doing. Yes. As a way to make money, but we don't have hobbies. And
those are important.
Those are important to have a hobby. I love comic books. Yes. Anime. And video games, but not as much as I used to love video games. Sometimes video games, it usually depends on the game that I'm playing. I could literally sit in front of my computer for 15 hours to play a game, or I can go weeks.
So, respectfully said, your hobbies are more on the nerdy side.
Yes, they're more on the nerdy side. And trust me, and if anybody can answer the question of what's going on episode 5 of WandaVision, please tell me.
I haven't started that yet. That's on Disney Plus.
That's on Disney Plus. Oh my God. The first 2 episodes, I went, I don't know what the hell this is. What the hell is this? Okay. And then by episode 3, everything came together. Yes. And by 4 and 5, I was like, what? What is this?
No way.
What is this? On episode 5.
She was invested at that point.
Episode 5, I'm not going to, no spoilers, but at the end, I went, and I'm not going to say any more to that.
It's a disappointed look on your face.
Because spoilers have ruined literally every time.
Out of respect for the people who haven't watched it.
Yeah, exactly. And spoilers on YouTube, because I spend a lot of time on YouTube.
I do too.
I watch all kinds of videos. You know who my favorite person on YouTube right now is? Michael Henry.
Who's that?
Okay, Michael Henry is this gay filmmaker from California. Okay. You need to look him up. Okay. His videos are hilarious. They're hilarious. They're very insightful. They're very smart. So you need to look him up.
I have a wide range of topics on YouTube where I go from like people who do tiny vans and renovations, or people that live in them.
I love top 10 lists.
Yes.
I love anything RuPaul's Drag Race that's going on, including the little side shows that they have that's going on right now. Trixie Mattel is.
I love interviews. Oh yeah, I just heard a podcast from her and Amanda.
She's on fire right now. That bitch, her humor. I was not.
So I just literally on my way here, I was listening to a podcast from Whitney Cummings, the comedian.
Yes.
And Trixie Mattel was featured on her last episode. So I was just listening to the whole thing on my way here. Funny enough.
Yes, she has gotten funnier. Her humor.
She's quick. She's so quick.
I was not a big fan of her humor at first.
She has intelligent humor.
But I started to listen to her and I'm like, this girl has gotten... I think it took a little bit of time to figure out when someone is super smart and they're trying to do humor. Yes, they have a hard time putting those two things together. Yep. And I think that she needed some time to put those two things together.
Okay.
it's together now.
Okay.
And she is on point.
Yes.
And I laugh every time now.
Yes.
Whenever she's on screen, she has made me laugh every time.
Yeah, because I was listening to that podcast on the way here, and just some of the shit she said, I was just cracking up myself.
But for the last 2 or 3 years, and she was working with Katya on some videos, and I think Katya had a lot to do with that. Because
ain't it crazy how... Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because Katya's had some issues with... she's had some drug and alcohol issues.
Has she?
She's had some mental health issues.
Okay.
So she's been on and off. And I think that Katya's helped her hone her thing.
Wait, who's had those issues? Trixie?
No, Katya.
Katya's had those
because they've had a show together for quite some time on YouTube.
Where they sit on the green screen
Called,
and
they,
I think I know which one it is. Okay.
So, and like I said, I get into the nerdy stuff.
Don't you just love how you find anything on YouTube? Like the Super Bowl, I watched the halftime show on the YouTube. I didn't even bother to watch the game at all whatsoever. I didn't care for the game. I just literally looked up The Weeknd Super Bowl 2021 and
I saw the Super Bowl halftime with The Weeknd. I have to admit, I actually liked it.
Yeah.
A lot.
I did too. I agree.
We were talking beforehand because I'm like, The Weeknd. That's who they picked for a Super Bowl?
And he explained why he did his show on stage like that, different than because there's COVID reasons. They couldn't have the people in the crowds come up to the stage like they used to every year before that.
And this was the first Super Bowl where there wasn't, I don't think there were multiple artists. It was just him.
One. Yeah, it was just him.
It was just him.
But The Weeknd has
he put on the show.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was impressed.
Yes.
And I got the joke, and I did get the joke with all the people with the bandages on, because over the summer it was he had broken up with his girlfriend, and he allegedly said he went and got plastic surgery because blah 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 blah
to
blah
look better,
or what have you. And then the whole joke at that halftime was all these people in bandages after plastic surgery, and I got the joke, and I thought for the first time, wait, I kept up with young people. Look at that, I got the joke.
Okay.
and second, which I usually don't care about keeping up with that.
The Weeknd has had an interesting career from where he started to where he is now.
But I never thought of him as someone who would be doing why would you want to? I just feel like that you're too good to be doing a Super Bowl show, but he put on a good Super Bowl show.
But at the same time, even some of the best artists who are better than the Super Bowl have come on there because of the exposure that they get from that show. He spent about $7 million of his own money for the production.
I don't think most people know this.
And he didn't get paid to perform.
Every artist who does the Super Bowl show, they don't get paid for that. Everything they do, they pay for it themselves. It's all about the exposure.
Because they reap the rewards, the benefits of being on that show. The exposure, the publicity.
So if you're about to put out an album or what have you, or if you're trying to put out an album or what have you, you do the Super Bowl halftime, your album will go through the roof. Ask Beyonce several times.
I'm going to ask you a question. Are you ready for Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day, I'm working.
Okay.
I'm working till 8 o'clock.
What days does that fall on?
That's on a Sunday.
Oh, I'm off that day.
So I'm working till 8 o'clock, which I always like to work Valentine's Day because, first of all, I make pretty good money.
Okay.
Secondly...
Oh, that's right. I forgot in the restaurant industry, those are the busiest.
Sure. But I make pretty good money. And people are a little bit more generous. And I don't have to wait on as many people because, like I said, with COVID the way it is right now, they're not coming out as much. But
correct.
It's going to be a special day.
And they've been doing that. Okay, so like every major holiday, you see these advertisements, or you get local government telling you, don't get together in large groups, don't do this, which I get. I get.
But Valentine's Day, you shouldn't be in a group in the first place. Why are you bringing your wife and 5 kids for Valentine's Day?
You'd be surprised.
I know. I've worked in this business.
Okay.
That surprises me every time. I'm like, you brought your wife and 5 kids
so you
for
couldn't
Valentine's
get a babysitter?
Day? Yeah, exactly. What is it with millennials not being able to get a babysitter?
Okay. And you know what's crazier? That when it comes to comparing the holidays, people always go out. They go all out more for Mother's Day than they do Father's Day. You ever notice that?
Because Father's Day is not a big deal, and let's be honest.
They always got half-assed treatment. I remember, like, when I worked in the restaurants, like, I would notice that Mother's Day, it was, like, the best of the best for my mom. I got her all these gifts. Mom, you're the best. Cool. Father's Day would roll around.
I'm gonna agree with mothers.
And they were just so upset to be there on Father's Day, celebrating the Father's Day.
I'm gonna agree with mothers when it comes to Father's Day. You got to step up your game if you want to get what I get on Mother's Day.
Hey.
You got to step up your game. Because Father's Day is about getting a tie and maybe having a hot dog, and that's it. Mother's Day
Here's
is
a
a
mug,
whole
Dad.
big thing.
Number one dad mug.
Even if you're in the restaurant business, actually Mother's Day is the busiest
Yes.
time of
Yes,
even
it is.
busier than Christmas.
Yep, it is.
It is the busiest time of the year in the restaurant business.
Yep.
And trust me when I tell you, Father's Day does not compare.
Not at
It's just
all.
another weekend.
It really is.
It's
It
just another
really is.
weekend. You might get one or two dads in there, and they're like, oh, we're just glad that somebody thought about us. Like, what did you do to up your game?
They don't do shit for Father's Day.
And women have been telling me, and when it comes to parenthood for a long time, if I'm going to do all the work and stuff, I'm getting my shit. So
Literally.
unless you were going to step up to the plate and start doing some work, Father's Day is going to be a piss ass day.
Well, so for everybody out there, happy Single Awareness Day. It's going to come soon.
Is there a single awareness? Why do we even need a single? Why do we need a day?
Single on the 14th. If you're not booed up, it just makes you aware how single you are. Just because you see everybody doing their thing.
I think we need
And
to have,
you know what though? It's worse in today's age. For example, up to this date in 2021, it's worse now because we were talking about earlier. People post everything on social media. So when it comes to like days on Valentine's, you start seeing everybody, the surprises, the gifts. He loves me, she loves me, they love me, them love me, whatever your pronouns are. Like you just see all that, and it makes, even though like for example, someone like myself, like I'm happy being single. All it does for me is just makes me aware. Okay, it just makes me more aware that particular day. That I am single as fuck. Then why am I not in a relationship? But then I come to my senses and realize now I know why I'm not in a relationship, and I'm okay with that. So I see how Valentine's as a joke at times.
I don't see it that way. I'm actually happy that you're celebrating your love. You put the work and effort into finding that person.
Correct.
I'm also going to hear stories about that person later being an awful, terrible person later on.
Okay.
But it seems to me that Valentine's Day, suddenly everybody's so wonderful, and their partners are the greatest partners on the planet, and how much they. But every other day of the year,
We're gonna forgive you for everything you did.
that motherfucker can't even pick his clothes up off the floor. His shoes are everywhere. He doesn't respect me. But as soon as Valentine's
Put some
Day,
respect on my name.
as soon as Valentine's Day roll around, suddenly it's like, oh, I want to give a shout out to this person because
Right.
he's the greatest love of my life, and blah blah blah, or
And
she's the greatest.
And I love the ones that are like, even though we fight every day,
Yeah, exactly.
and that we have gone through some rough patches, you're the best thing that's ever happened
And
to
by
me.
the way, when I say rough patches, as a gay man of straight friends, here are my here are those rough patches. Joel, let me tell you what such and such did, and he was this, and he was that, and it's always from the women's point of view, and he did this and that, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, I don't know why you're telling me all of this. I am single.
Okay.
But as a person, because I look at you as a person.
Have you ever been that single friend that gives good dating advice or good relationship advice?
I'm the single person.
Isn't it crazy though? Like I'm sorry to cut you off, but isn't it crazy? Like sometimes, depending on your single friends, I'm one of those single friends that I've had my friends in relationship come to me for advice, but I'm the single as fuck friend.
Well, when you've reached the level of wisdom that I have reached,
Okay,
and you're on your way.
Yes, sir.
At 35, you're on your way. And stop calling me sir. You're 35.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You can say daddy. I'm okay with that, but stop calling me sir or ma'am. But the fact of the matter is that when you've reached my level of wisdom, because I'm at my age, my wisdom is the ultimate.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Your own
I'm
high
kidding.
man. It's what?
I'm gonna. Here's a piece of wisdom that I think everybody needs to understand. Everybody's dumb until they're dead.
Yes.
So even I can be dumb. But when it comes to relationships, here's how I look at it. I'm talking to you as an individual person. I'm not really looking at your entire relationship.
Correct.
Because I'm not in a relationship. Correct. But when you talk about your person and the complaints that you might have about that person, I ask you, how do you feel about it? What goals do you want to do?
Right.
How do you see your relationship? Is this person worth putting up with all the stuff
Correct.
that you put up
Yes.
with? I talk to you as an individual. I don't talk to you as a relationship.
Yes.
Because as far as I'm concerned, when I'm sitting with another single person, we're two individuals.
Yes.
And we have our own lives and we do our own things. So when I ask you for advice about stuff, I can listen to the advice that you give me because we're on the same level.
Correct.
When I'm listening to someone who's in a relationship, I stopped with the trying to do the both thing.
Yeah.
And started talking to them because people don't seem to understand something. You as a couple are not one entity.
Correct.
You're two people.
Individuals.
You're two individuals.
Responsible for your own happiness, not each other's happiness.
Yeah, exactly. So when I make you understand, when I'm giving you advice, I'm giving you advice. Yes. And I'm telling you what you do because I know you as a person. And
that's what I do with some of my single friends. Well, I'm sorry.
And that's the great thing about being single is being able to talk to someone as an individual. I think that when couples get advice from someone, from a single person,
a lot of times they're seeking an opinion or see what what would you do if you were them type thing, and they want to see what your single perspective is compared to their friends in a relationship who they know are going to give them the safety net answers. Okay, y'all are mad. Yeah, me and my blah blah blah, we're mad about that. Just do this and do that. The shortcuts to it. When my friends come to me, I am a person who operates off of honesty. I'm very observational. I can put myself in people's shoes. I feel I can. So when as I have a friend that's telling me this
can
is
you
going
put
on,
yourself in a couple's shoes though, or are you putting yourself as
both? I can do that too because I've been in a few relationships. I'll be honest, I haven't been in many, but I've been in a few.
Lord, we've been in a couple of relationships. That's
And so I can sometimes I'll use those comparisons. Well, when I was in a relationship and I went through that, this is what I did, and I always tell them this is my point, this is my perspective. I don't expect you to take my advice full heartedly. You can pick and choose what you want to take with you and run with that. But I think what my friends appreciate about me is that I can give them an honest insight. I can give them an honest point of view. I can tell them exactly what I think and or feel unfiltered. And they appreciate that sometimes. But at the same time, when I'm giving that advice, I try to be realistic. I don't just say, girl, jump. I'm not that single friend that's, girl, just break up with him. Fuck him. Fuck that. But we've been together 10 years. But I don't care. He ain't shit. No, I don't do that. I go, okay, y'all been together 10 years, so you should know this person better than anybody. This is the advice I would give to you. This is how I would approach the situation in this way. Maybe you talk to him or ask him these questions, or at least that's how I go about it.
Whereas this is probably the cruelest thing ever. Whereas half the time, I'm not really listening to you. I'm honestly, because I've heard it's the same when you have been down this road.
That is such an industry instinct, by the way.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I have heard, like I said, I cannot be in an instance where I'm sitting alone where somebody has not revealed the most intimate details of their lives to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you telling me this?
Because we put that energy out there.
Why are we
give them that comfortability, and we give that space where they feel like, you know what?
So I have learned acceptance. Yeah. I'm like, this is how people see me, so I'm going to accept it.
Yes.
And I'm going to do my best to if I hear the same story, I stop listening.
Yeah.
I honestly, because I've already heard it. Or
you do selective hearing. Like you'll hear the keywords.
I only hear the keywords or what have you. And you know, the one thing I love about
at that.
The one thing I love about technology, and I don't complain about this with millennials or even Gen Z, I'll get on my phone and be like, okay, yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Then if I hear something important, I'll be like, okay, so wait a minute.
worth answering to.
Yeah, exactly. That I will answer for, but for the most part, I've already heard it like so many times, it's ridiculous. You're running on a wagon wheel.
Oh my God. Sometimes I have like 5 conversations at once, especially when I'm bartending. Because
you're running on a wagon wheel.
I'm making a drink. I'm telling you something. I'm telling the other person something. I'm acknowledging something somebody said, or I'm like making a drink and conversation.
But isn't it? It's also kind of fun when I'm hearing it from gay couples, and because gay couples are.
That's a different breed of couples.
It's straight new to me.
Gay couples are a whole
new to
me.
And
they're messier, they're pettier, they're more heavy with their drama.
No, it's not even that. Here's why gay couples are new to me now. We can get married. We can have kids. Yeah, we can buy a house in the suburbs. That's what I hear as new. So when I hear this from gay couples, I'm like, oh, what? Mm-hmm. That's new to me.
Yeah.
When I hear from straight couples, I've heard it
all your life. That's normal. Yeah.
It's normal. Well, I don't want to say normal, but it's what I've heard all my life. Now that I'm hearing it from gay couples, it's like, oh, well, we're going to get married here at this venue, and we're thinking about having 3 kids, and we're doing all this stuff, and then I'm like,
and even going to gay weddings, that's a new thing to a lot of people too. Gay weddings, like there's I've already been to like at least 2 or 3 of them. I believe. 2 for sure.
I've been to 2, and they were both so lovely.
Yeah,
one of them ended in a horrible divorce, and he died later. But the fact of the matter is that it was a beautiful wedding, and I'm like, and it was someone I could truly, and every person has this person in their life, someone I truly despised. Truly despised. Completely messed up my life. But I was supposed to learn how to forgive. But then I got petty because I realized how much weight he gained. But then I got really petty because I'm like, but this motherfucker is getting married. I'm still single. And by the way, I was only being, at that moment, that was the first time as a single person that I went, wait a minute, this motherfucker is getting married. I'm not married.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker is getting married.
You compared yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Once again, and that's when I realized this person is still toxic because I'm comparing myself to this person of a life that I've chosen to be happy with.
Correct.
But his wedding was very nice, cute outdoor wedding.
Despite the toxicity, the wedding was amazing.
Yeah, but I left that wedding with the realization that, wait a minute, I really need to understand who I am because I literally got pissed off at him.
You understood that when you left him, I feel.
Oh,
like if you're in a relationship when you're in a relationship with a toxic, narcissistic, whatever, manipulative person, and once you actually pull yourself out of that relationship and you completely block them out of your life, that's when you start opening your eyes to a lot of the shit that you were put through. And that's when you come to your senses, and then you realize that you needed to grow from that instead of stay in it. Because if you would have stayed in that, you would have been just worse than what you are now.
Good Lord. I mean, it was one of the most horrific relationships I'd ever been. But at the same time...
How long did you guys go out for?
We weren't even...
Or dated. How long did y'all date for?
Our relationship was weird.
It was a relationship, but it wasn't a relationship. It was a relationship,
but it wasn't a relationship. But we didn't know who we were to each other, and there was also a little bit of racial aspects to it and all kinds of things. So
what was his ethnicity?
He was white.
Okay.
It's always a white dude.
Always. Tell me about it. As a Hispanic man, tell me about it.
I know. It's always a white dude. Good Lord. They have so many hang-ups. It's ridiculous. But
okay.
But yeah, it was a white dude. And by the way, he was one of these dudes. And I'm sure, have you ever met a dude that no matter what situation he walked into, people were all over him? And he was one of those dudes. The dude came over to my house one time to visit me. There were 5 phone numbers on my front door and some flowers for him.
The fuck?
And I'm like, are you motherfucking serious? My neighbors never paid one bit of, not here, but it was another place I lived at. My neighbors never paid one bit of attention to me when I was walking across the grounds or going to the swimming pool. But as soon as he walks into my front door, suddenly there was notes on the door.
Oh my!
But that's just the way he was. And by the way,
he just had that energy about him.
He just had that energy about him, and he was the worst.
People just wanted to fuck him. They didn't even know if he was straight or gay.
Yeah, exactly. Which, by the way, has always ended in failure because he was the worst fucking person in bed I'd ever met.
For real?
His issues were, there were so many issues. There were issues on top of issues.
Oh my God.
He was the National Geographic of issues. And if y'all know National Geographic, once again, for those of you who don't, Google it. They were a magazine for many, and there's thousands of...
They're still around.
They're still around. And trust me, he was issues upon issues.
Oh.
And he was not... Sexually, he was horrible.
Yeah.
And every person who...
was with him,
who tried to get with him, realized that at the end, and they still... And I understood why. He just had that charisma about him. They still went after him. And he was just... I mean, oh my God, he cried during sex one time. He cried.
What the fuck?
He cried. What? Who cries after sex?
Why?
He cried. Oh, Joel, have we ruined our friendship? I'm like, for what? For 2 minutes?
Like tears cry? Or like just
tears cried.
Crying out loud?
Like for tears cried.
Oh my fucking God.
Oh my God, we ruined our friendship. I'm like, really? Because we only had 2 minutes of sex.
I'm putting myself in a scenario, like, and I'm imagining myself in a scenario, like, that would be awkward as fuck. If you're like
But
trying
he
to get
didn't
your
have a-
groove on with somebody and then like they just start crying,
He just started crying, and trust me, he.
did you have to cuddle him to? Like,
No, I didn't want to cuddle him. I was pissed. We
Fuck
literally
you.
had 2 minutes of sex. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and he was done. And I'm like, "Are you serious?" Right with me. And every ex-boyfriend that I ever talked to, he ruined their lives. Financially, he ruined their lives. Emotionally, he ruined.
Was
their
he
lives.
like what?
He was just everything that you said, or he was a narcissist.
Oh,
to the
God.
10th power.
Narcissist,
He
manipulative,
used every
selfish.
yes, and then in his final days when he passed away, in his final days,
Can we pour one out for the homie?
no,
Negative. That's a waste of alcohol.
No, I wanted to dance on his grave.
Damn, that bad. How long were you guys together? Or
We were friends for 5.5, maybe. On and off for maybe 10 years. I'll say 10 years.
So y'all messed around for 2 minutes for 10 years.
And we went back and forth. We broke up several times. I thought I was done with him. And then he'd come back with a sob story.
And that was his pull.
Yeah, and then I'd be like, oh, I felt bad for him. And then I realized I felt bad for him because, once again, I was attracted to him. And I couldn't understand why I was attracted. He was a horrible person. I could not understand why I was attracted. And then I realized that my self-esteem was not at the place where it needed to be, because I should have been able to say,
And you feed it off his
fuck
energy.
you.
Yeah.
But no, it was just, It was.
Do you feel that maybe you had a void or an emptiness that you thought he would fill?
Yes. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. Yes.
Okay. Damn.
Yes, I thought there was a void that he would fill, and I also thought that I could.
Even though you knew he
Lord.
messed up many a time, so you're like, maybe this time it's different.
I thought I could, and by the way, you've heard this statement 1,000 times. Oh, I can change him. I can rebuild him.
Girl, bye.
I can rebuild him. I just need $6 billion.
Girl,
and I can rebuild him.
take some. When you have
I
to
wish
tell that to
somebody had
yourself,
used the term "girl bye" back then, because I would have been like,
take several seats, bye.
because that was like, no. And I thought, and then I had to get rid of him after a while, because I'm like, oh, I'm not fixing to go down this road with you. You got to go. You out of here. You got to go. Take your shit and go.
And then my question is, like, when you feel like you have to change somebody, are they really worth the
No,
time?
hell no.
Like,
I'm not
going into it like, damn it, if I get with this guy, I got to change a lot of things about him.
Nope.
The fact that he goes out all the time, the fact that he's got he still has the apps up, and if you have to,
If that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. I'm not going to tell you
I'm
what
like,
to
either
do, but
they should already know, and if
but
you
I'm
have
gonna,
to,
yeah.
if
But
you
I,
have to tell somebody
Yeah.
how to act around you to make you
No.
feel comfortable, no, that's a red flag. Right?
no, I'm already done with that.
Yes,
I'm so
agreed.
glad to be
Same here.
done with that. I'm completely done with that.
Agreed.
It took me a little bit longer to get there,
Yeah.
but I am at a place now where I'm so happy with my life right now. It's
Amen.
ridiculous.
Say
And
it
I feel
louder.
so good.
Say it louder for the kids in the back.
I feel so good. I wish I'd have had this attitude when I was 25, but
God damn.
I had to learn everything along the way.
And
So
sometimes that's part of being single is that it's okay. For example, let me speak for myself. I'm at a point where like I'm happy being single and I'm okay with it. There's I'm not putting up a front for anybody. I'm not trying to convince anybody that, oh my God, my life is not perfect. I'm not trying to put that out there either. I
being
just live a
single is not
normal,
perfect.
I live a normal, regular life, whatever that may be. And I'm happy being single, meaning I don't have to take care of anybody else, and I don't have to take care of anybody else but myself. I am my first priority. It comes off as maybe a little selfish, but it's because
I think we need to get away from that term selfish. It's being completely used
it's self-love,
wrong.
essentially.
It's being completely used wrong. I'm going to tell y'all something also. We're going to take a break because I had to pee.
Yeah.
But I want to get back into this more because because I keep seeing this on the internet and it's starting to piss me off.
Ooh.
And we're going to talk about this because this all leads up to Valentine's Day. And I really do think people need to understand
That it's okay to be
that it's
single.
okay to be you.
And it has its moment. It has its moments.
It has its moments.
It has its moment, but
it's not the easiest life
but
to
then
live.
you weigh the positive and the negative, and you're like, you know what? I'd rather take the positive, and that means being a little not. If that means living alone, or that means I'm okay with that.
Oh, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Nor am I lonely.
Yeah.
I'm never. When I come home to my house, I'm happy. I'm happiest when I come home to my house.
Do you consider your home like your sanctuary?
My sanctuary,
I
yes.
do too. I'm the same way.
It is my sanctuary. When I come home to my house, it's my sanctuary. I have never sat in this house and went, I feel so lonely.
Yes, agreed.
Because I'm going to be honest, if I felt that lonely, I would have already had a husband.
And I'm the kind of person that I agree with what you're saying, but I'll put the energy into creating the environment I want to surround myself in.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to take a little bit of a break because we have had alcohol.
Yes.
I got to go to the bathroom.
Okay, and a refill. You need a refill, girl.
Yes, I need a refill.
I'm glad you lasted this long without melting into your chair, by the way.
Yes, exactly. And I'm going to make it to the end, amazingly enough.
That's what he said.
I'm going to make it to the end. No one has ever said that to me, though. But
2 minutes later.
That was one time and one time
it.
only, and I've known how to take care of a man ever since. So we'll be right back. And we are back. I finally did this right.
You're getting better at this.
I know. Well, Julio, I just want to let you know something. There is a little trick when you have to do when you take pauses, you have to hold it down for a couple of seconds, and if you don't hold it down, then you have to start all over. But no, you don't really start all over. All I end up doing is just connecting everything.
Okay.
It just makes it, when I do the editing process, it makes it easier when it's seamless than when I have it chopped up, because then I have to put it all together. And that's extra work, and I'm trying to save myself the extra work. But we're back. Okay. I'm back with Julio Bricenyo, who is my guest host for this week's show, and we're preparing for. I guess you guys are getting the theme, because we are preparing for Valentine's Day, and we're talking about being single and what that entails. It's a good and a bad
being single
thing.
And being perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, exactly. There are the highs and there are the lows.
Correct.
When it comes to, but you were telling us before we went on break. Finish your story about what you were telling us, unless you had to
remind me.
Okay.
Well, basically, it was just, I think I was saying something along the lines of like, being single is okay, and I'm happier being single. And it's not putting up a front or saying, it's not to like try to hide or convince anybody of anything. It's just I'm genuinely being single because I only have to worry about myself, and I'm not being selfish, or I'm not putting, because the people that I've met.
Oh, that's the thing that I wanted to say is about that use of the term selfish.
Yeah,
which I think is being used incorrectly.
Yes,
when it comes to how each individual chooses to lead their life. Yeah,
and so to me, it's about I've learned to make myself my own priority, and by making myself my priority is taking care of my mental health, my mental, my physical, and my emotional. That's the way I look at it: mind, body, and spirit.
Yes, exactly.
I take care of whether it's going to the gym, doing things outside of the neighborhood that I work in, whether it's and nowadays when I talk to people, I tend to be a little more selective, because I feel like I've built myself up, and I've worked so much on myself to get to a point where I am happily, mentally, physically, and emotionally, that if the people I meet are not on my level or close to it,
I'm starting to feel the same way.
I'm not going to waste my time with you. But I'm not going to invest my energy into.
But I think for me, because of all the stuff that I've went through, there's still a tiny level of guilt with that, but it's not as big as it used to be.
What kind of guilt?
It's that guilt of, well, maybe this person, maybe I'm misunderstanding this person, or maybe this person actually has great qualities, or blah, 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 blah. It's that same mentality that I had before, where it's like, hey, let me rebuild you. So getting past that, there's still a certain level of guilt when I tell someone, no, I don't know. No, thank you. I don't want to deal with all of that.
So when you try to, let's say, build somebody or fix somebody, is that a way of projecting your own?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Onto them?
Yes. I've learned, yes. It's me projecting my issues onto them.
Correct. And try to make them better.
And seeing that we have the similar issues. So I feel like it's easier for me to fix his than mine.
And I don't have time for that bullshit anymore.
Like I said, I have reached a point now, I recognize it so quickly that I can literally say, no, I don't want to do that.
Great.
I've already spent a lot more time. I'm working on me. I don't have time to deal with you.
Exactly. So that's why, like, my thing now is, like, if I'm going to meet somebody and waste my time with them, I say waste very casually, is like, Because if you're not meeting me at my level or higher, and I get it if you're a few notches down and you're getting to where I'm at, I can accept that. But if you're at a point where like you're just now getting your shit together, you're still immature, you're still figuring life out, it's like I can only help you so much if you can't help yourself. And I'm already at a level where like I just expect you to meet me there, and so we can go higher together.
Honestly,
because relationships are work, dude. I feel like
honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I really shouldn't be helping you with anything.
Agreed.
If you need help with something, you need to do it.
I'm a self-sufficient guy.
I will support you.
Yes,
there's a difference.
And encourage.
I will support and encourage. I'm not helping you.
Correct.
You need to get your own shit together.
Please and thank you.
So I don't have the time. I'm trying to get my own shit together myself.
Thank you.
I'm working on me. And by the way, I'm enjoying working on me.
And you can't hold me back.
Even with all the ups and downs that when it comes to, right now, my physical health needs work. But I went into this new year thinking, okay, I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm going to find out what's going on. I'm going to try to fix what I can fix.
Yeah.
And accept what I can accept.
And that in itself is a balancing act.
I wanted to make sure that I want to be around for my friends. Also, I want to get as much dick as I can, but I want to be around for my friends, and I want to have a good time with my life. I still want to get as much dick as I can.
I want to take care of me, but
that's all a part of taking
dick.
But that's getting the dick is all a part of taking care of me.
Okay, it really is.
I have learned to be the sexual being that I want to be and not be embarrassed by it.
You've grown into your own skin.
Yes, exactly. I'm tired. Sometimes even
You've gotten your confidence, which is good. It's powerful.
Yeah. Even sometimes with my oldest friends, I really got sick and tired of having to explain. And when I say sexuality, I don't mean me being gay or straight.
Correct.
I mean the fact that I love sex.
Yeah.
I love the idea of being with another dude.
Yeah.
I love all the stuff that goes with it.
Yes.
And I enjoy sex.
Yes.
And having to have those judgmental eyes when it comes to explaining, especially like I said, when it comes to explaining it to older friends who are in my same age group.
If there's anything that I've learned, especially as a bartender, is you accept people. I've learned to accept people as they are, as they come, whatever their sexual orientation is, whatever their sexual preference is, however many people they sleep with. I learned to just accept people for who they are and not judge it, not come from that point of judgment. Because that doesn't do anything for me or them. You know what I mean? If I start judging, it comes from a place of insecurity. If I encourage it, then it's like, if I encourage it, it's because I'm building you up. I'm not trying to hold you back. Does that make sense? So it's like, and I wish more people would subscribe to the idea of just be open with whatever the fuck people want to do. They want to fuck a boy. They want to fuck a girl. They want to be in a relationship. They want to be a hoe. Let them live their best life. Because
I just want to live my best life. I spent so much time taking care of everybody else. I grew up taking care of my own parents.
It's like somebody told me once, what they eat doesn't make me shit. Think about it. What they eat doesn't make you shit. Yeah, exactly. So why are you so worried about what they do with their life?
Yeah, exactly. So you have to get out there and figure out who you want to be. If you want, you know what? I don't have a problem. If you want to be in a relationship, if you are one of those people who can't be single and want to be in a relationship. And
sometimes being single can get lonely in the sense of like the physical need, like fuck, I need somebody. That's where you find your fuck buddies. But if you can't find a fuck buddy, sometimes you have to log on to that app, say what's up, you want to come over or nah.
Yeah, but even that's a process. It is. It's like, okay, so.
And it's Russian roulette. I call it Russian roulette.
Yeah, it's Russian roulette.
I really do. I shy away from the apps. I have them. I shy away from them. When I think I want to get on them, and then realize, then I get my common sense, my reality kicks in. It's like, what are you doing? You don't know who these fucking people are. You don't know what you're getting, who you're getting. They might give you something like it. Like I automatically start overthinking the situation and I shut it down. I'm like, I can't. Now I don't judge anybody else for hookup culture, and which is pretty common, pretty normal. I feel in the gay culture.
I feel like it's now like ordering a pizza. I feel like that's what it is. I can literally go on Growler or Scruff and go, hello, let me see hi.
What are your toppings?
Let's see who you are.
Are you farm to table?
You said hello. I said hello. You sent me a growl or a woof. I sent you a growl or a woof. I said hi.
Wow,
you said hey.
I've never thought about it like that. It's
said,
like ordering a pizza.
Yeah. You said hey.
Wow, you just changed my perspective, by the way. I don't know if you realize
it's exactly like looking at a menu when you're ordering a pizza.
You just
you go through the whole thing.
Because for the longest, I've used it differently.
And then you pick which pizza you want.
Okay.
And then if they want to come over, they come over. And you get yourself ready. And then that's it.
That's the thing that throws me off is sex with a complete stranger. Mm-hmm. I'm more of a let's meet and if we connect and we vibe, cool. Mm-hmm. But I feel like when you talk to people online, they're so like ready for it to happen so quickly, so instantly that they're not caring to get to know your me. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to find love on a hookup app. That's not me. I'm realistic about it.
I love when I talk to people on the hookup app. And they're like, "Oh no, I'm looking for love on a hookup app."
Jack and Growler, girl, bye.
Are you shitting me right now? Mm-hmm. But then I realized, wait, but I had some friends who like vetted, who hooked up, and then they fell in love. Yep. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not looking to fall in love, but at least like so. And that my priorities have changed now that I'm a little older. Now it's more in the lines of. It's no longer is it like ordering a pizza. Now it's like ordering fine dining. I want a little bit more than just the ordinary. Yeah, when it was a hookup, it was a pizza. But now it's
from
like
Uber X to Uber Black. Like,
yeah, exactly. Now it's like exactly what you're saying now is that now let's have a conversation. Let me see how I feel about you. Yeah. Because if I'm going to stick my dick in you or you're going to stick your dick in me,
right?
I think I might want to like you a little bit.
Preferably, yeah.
So I've actually had a chance to talk to several guys over the summer.
Here's a little secret to my job. Being a bartender in the neighborhood. Sometimes you see some of these faces on the app or some of the people that are on there. And when you finally indirectly meet them, like you saw their profile, but you didn't even woof, howl, growl, high noon, whatever, high five it, nothing. But sometimes you'll see them at the club or the bar, and you see how they really are, how they really act. So it's perception, it's reality versus expectation type thing. Like you'll see them on the app, they're like, I'm this person, I'm that person. Hit me up, say hi, and then you see them how they are in real person, real judgy, real hateful. And you're like, oh, thank God that I didn't hit you up. Am I making sense here? Like,
yeah.
So from my perspective, I tend to see a lot of that. Sometimes I'll see them on the hookup apps, and then when I'm bartending, I get to see them in person without ever reaching out to them before. So then I get to, because my job, I'm forced to talk to you whether I want to or not. Forced to in a good way. Hey, how are you? What can I get you to drink type thing. And as I'm getting to talk, I'm like, okay. Okay, I like your vibe. And if I like their vibe, one thing people don't realize, we're observant as fuck. I read rooms consistently.
Oh, Lord. I think being a bartender has made me the most observant
I read a room in a heartbeat.
I can look at you and know exactly
I can walk into a room, glance around, walk around a few steps, and I'm like, okay, I know what's going on. That's how fine-tuned I am into a room. So when I see those guys that I saw that I had crushes on, or that I like, I thought he's cute, let me see what... And then I see them acting in their natural environment. Oh, you're that person. Got it. Because I do believe the only thing that I do believe is I believe you are who you surround yourself with. And I see that happen a lot in the bar scene. So people sometimes portray themselves as one thing, and then when you see them in the bar scene, they're like, oh, no.
I feel like that now I have surrounded myself with the right people, even if those people irritate the fuck out of me. I've surrounded myself with the right people because they've helped me grow and change and figure out where I want to go.
And that's the only people I surround myself with. Like the intimate circles and shit like that. Like that's the only people I look for. It's like-minded people. People that I know I can trust. People that because there's nothing worse that you having friends and not being able to turn to your own friends and talk about anything. Because you know that as soon as you tell them your personal life, it's already gossip in the group. It's already out in the neighborhood. Whatever the situation may be.
So, yeah, I have that little intimate circle of people that I could talk to about stuff, and they support me. Even if they are pissed off at me, you don't call, girl. No, I'm not a caller. You should know that.
I'm not a caller or hangout.
I'm not a caller.
I'm sorry. Hit me up every once in a while. And
if you want to, look, I'm all about, hey, you want to go to dinner, go to lunch? I'm all for that.
Yep.
But if you want to have a conversation on the phone, I'm like, okay, it's been 20 minutes now.
Okay.
Is there any? Are you?
I don't mind phone conversations as long as they're like, if I haven't spoken to you in a while and we have actual shit to catch up on.
My friends actually get mad at me. They're like, because I will go, can you just get to the point? Because I don't want to have needless chit chat.
I sensed that in a few of our conversations.
Yeah.
Not in a negative way. I mean that in a respectful way.
I mean, what were you going to talk to me about? I thought you were just going to talk to me. Or were we going to go, hey, how you doing? How was your day? The sun came out today. The sun came out today. And I worked out, and I feel glistening right now.
I could sense that you didn't like being. I sensed that you didn't like being on the phone.
And I'm like, oh my god!
Because at one point, at one point you were like, okay, 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 and I was like,
I like getting to the point.
After several okays, I was just like, I think he doesn't want to be on the phone, and I'm one of those people that like, because nowadays, people don't talk on the phone as much.
I used to be a phone. I used to be a phone talker.
I was too. I grew up being a phone person. I grew up in the generation before cell phones. But now with cell phones,
I was one of those little teenagers who had his little princess phone.
Yes,
and
queen
with the cord. Will be laying in bed laying on his stomach with his feet up in the air. Just hey, what's going on? And talk for 4 hours on the phone. Now I get irritated after 10 minutes.
Yeah, because the new social norm is text messaging, words. We receive as text message before you call me.
Text messaging for me has always gotten me into so much trouble because it's the context of the text message that always. I can't believe you said that. Said what?
Right. They misinterpret.
You said, hey, let's go out. And I'm like, why do you misinterpret that? How can you misinterpret? I did not put.
Oh my god! They're reading, that's when they read too much into it.
When I thought it's the simplest responses, it's like, oh well, I guess you don't want to do something today. I said yes, I would like to do something. Well, the way that you said it.
Oh my.
In a text message, I said, yes, I would like to. I didn't think I was reading into the text message.
They read into, because nowadays texting is the form of communication.
But then I find myself doing the same thing, and it's like,
yes.
So you don't want to do something? Right. And then I have to remember, wait a minute, that might be, now I have to physically think about it.
Yes.
That might not be the context they're coming from.
Yep.
So I have to approach this on a different level. So, and you're looking at your watch.
No, somebody sent me a message. So I have the iWatch. So my notifications to come on my phone.
Having someone on the show sometimes
they come on there, and I saw they distract me. Sorry.
Yeah. So when I have people on the show, it's like, hey, I got to get out of here.
No, you're good. So me, I'm an old school. I like phone conversations. Like I have one of my best friends that me and him like we met working at PF Chang's, and he's been one of my best friends for the almost 5 years now, roughly. And he's my go-to person, and I'm his go-to person, because we're those kind of friends that we can call and talk to each other. And bitch, our normal conversations go an hour plus, talking about random shit. It doesn't have to be sometimes it's like a specific conversation. Sometimes it's just us talking, because we like that. We just like the conversation aspect with each other, and sometimes we put each other in check. Sometimes we'll talk certain topics, and he'll have his opinion, I'll have my opinion. And we're the kind of friends that if one of us is wrong in what we're saying, we'll call each other out and hey.
But I'm more in person, whereas on the phone, I feel like we don't really say the things that we want to say on the phone. Even in the days of the phone.
Although I will say FaceTiming has helped out with that. Video calling has helped out with you don't physically have to be with each other, but you can at least see each other.
I actually like FaceTiming a lot more than I did.
Yes.
Than I do having a phone conversation.
I've become a FaceTime person. I used to I used to hate it.
You know what? Even the most embarrassing. I will literally be laying in bed, and if someone calls me a FaceTime, I'm like, I'm in bed.
Yeah, for real. Hi,
and I'll answer the phone.
Same here.
Whereas before, it's like when I'm laying in bed, I'm like, I'm in bed. I don't really talk to you.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah.
Thank you.
But with FaceTime, it's like I'm forced to talk to you, but I do not mind.
Okay.
But you're going to see me in bed.
In my natural habitat.
You're going to see me in bed. And if you see somebody laying next to me while I'm in bed, that's on you.
Ambiance. Hi. Hello.
That's on you. That also might be me showing
and then on the other end, they're at the bar. Where are you?
Exactly.
In bed, bitch.
I'm in bed. Girl, you're at the bar, but I already got what I needed from the bar, and it's right here.
I just hope that people don't lose the art of phone conversations.
You know what?
And it doesn't have to be every day, because I have my one of my best friends. That one is like we don't talk every day. But when we do talk, we pick up where we left off, or we just start carrying on new conversations.
My biggest thing with relationships now is I hope and I pray, and I'm not going to say this to millennials as much as I'm going to say this to Gen Zers. I do not want you. The bar scene was about bringing us together.
Yes.
And being able to have a place where we can talk. And,
unity amongst your own people.
And you can make the most incredible friends that you will ever have.
Yes.
And that they will be with you for years and years and years. Even associates.
You came from the era where those connections were quality connections.
Exactly. And you can even have people that you only talk to once or twice.
Because back then, there were, like, once again, I hate to sound that like that person, there was no social media. There was no cell phones. There was no texting.
No, there was social media, but
through newspapers, through magazines.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you found out what was happening in your community.
And it was a social scene. We were, the moment that you went out, you always saw.
And you were forced to interact with each other face to face.
And there will always be that one or two queens that you would run into and go, hey, girl, hey, what's going on? Not much. Well, this is what's going on tonight. Okay, girl. Well, I'll see you later.
Bet.
And that would be it. And you had a connection.
Yeah.
And if anything, because, like I said, with my generation, we had to be a little bit more social because we were losing people because of AIDS.
Yes.
So we had to know what was going on. If we had social media back then, I think we would have handled the epidemic better. But we didn't have it, so we had to use underground social to figure out how to keep up with each other.
Platforms, other more traditional platforms.
We had to keep up with each other to figure out, hey, I went to the doctor. If you told someone you went to the doctor in 1992 and you're gay, everybody in your group freaked out.
Uh-oh.
Literally everybody in your... What's wrong?
Uh-oh. Are you okay? What's going on?
Are you okay? Oh, no, girl, I just had the flu.
You sure?
Yes, I went to the doctor and I have the flu. So we had to do that because that's what we had to do because a sneeze could be something horrible even in 1992.
Today, now in even 2021, a sneeze is a horrible thing.
Exactly.
That other day at the grocery store, I legit had to sneeze.
But you were 100% guaranteed to die. With this, you were not 100% guaranteed to die. But you were 100% guaranteed to die back then. So
yes, sir.
A sneeze, a cough, a little blotch
and
on
people
your
were
skin.
Less informed at the time. So there were still those stigmas that came with it.
Exactly. A little blotch on the skin. I saw a little blotch on my skin once and freaked out and thought, oh my God, I have the carcinomas, whatever it is called.
Vitiglio.
Yeah, exactly. The skin cancer, which is super rare. Went to the doctor and he's like, it's just a blotch. You can calm down now. I'm like, well, I mean, I didn't tell him I was gay, but I think he kind of knew, but it was a blotch and I worried. Yeah. So the thing is that
what's a blotch? A skin blotch? Like what is that? Like
just a little mark on your skin, like a little red mark or something that shows up out of the blue, and you don't know where.
Like a rash looking thing,
but it stays there, and you don't know. Maybe it's because you've been in the sun too long, or what have you.
Or you spent a lot of time at the glory hole. Or...
well, maybe not at the glory hole, but most likely it came from being in the sun too long.
Gotcha.
90% of the time it came from being in the sun too long, so it was just never a big issue. But the lighter the skin, the bigger the blotch, the more you worry.
Wow.
So I can understand why my white friends would freak out if they even saw the smallest blotch on their skin, because that was an indication that you might have AIDS. So
that's scary.
Yeah, so that was scary, and I know that I talk about it a lot, and I just want to say that we, like I said, I watched the Generations.
That was from your time.
Yeah,
that's
I love the millennials right now because I'm like, they're in our age group. You're 35. You're a millennial.
Yes.
And most people forget that millennials are older and they're settling down and they have families.
They're in their 30s.
They're in their 30s. They're still sexual viable under certain mathematics for me.
Okay. Okay.
Under mathematics for me, I know the mathematics plus 7 minus whatever. So they're still viable for me.
Yes. Yes.
And as long as I can keep up, which, by the way, I can for any of you 30-years out there. I can keep up.
Just FYI.
Daddy's going to take care of maybe one or two things that happens. Now, I'm going to tell you something when you're 35.
Yeah.
That I think that I need to give advice to.
Yeah, please.
First of all, masturbate frequently.
Okay.
Because you're looking out to make sure that your prostate is okay.
Okay.
Because after 50, it's going to swell up a little bit.
Oh,
and
for real?
You're going to have to. It's not a permanent thing.
Okay.
It's just a temporary thing that happens.
What swells up?
Your prostate.
Okay.
So masturbate often.
Does it show externally?
No, it will.
Because I know the prostate is internal. Right. I know that, but like through it getting bigger, does that mean that I'm going to see a bump on my
genitals?
You're not
going to see a bump or any of that stuff. It's just something that happens. It's a normal part of aging.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I have to go to the doctor well, there is a worry because it could be cancer, but it's on an extreme level. So just make sure. And I've known men who were in their 30s who, if you're in your 30s and your prostate is swollen, it's most likely cancer. So,
oh shit.
Yeah. So that's pretty rare.
Is there an age where you just have to go in for just a regular check-in physical? Or?
Over between 45 and 50.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm in my early 50s.
You just have to go in and have it.
I'm having everything
head to toe.
Having everything checked out. Make sure, because like I said, my goal
is that a good thing to do it earlier than your 40s?
Now, here's the thing. I would love for you to do it earlier than your 40s.
Yeah.
The only reason I waited till now was because I was stubborn and did not like doctors that much.
That, or you probably didn't have the medical knowledge,
I didn't
and that intimidated you.
Yeah. That did. But also because I just was afraid of doctors. And I was afraid that someone's going to, oh, my God, you have something horrible. But
you didn't want to find out something else was wrong with you. Well, on top of what you just went in there for.
Yeah, get your shit taken care of now.
Like, I know you came here for just a physical, but can we talk to you? Mm-hmm. We found this, and that. Mm-hmm. And then now it changes your whole life.
Yeah, exactly. So,
whether good or bad.
Yeah, so this is where I am right now. I have hypertension, so I have to keep the blood pressure low. Okay. There's a little bit of damage to the kidneys because of it, which I neglected. My blood pressure has been high for years, and I neglected it. And it's been high for years.
Oh, so you knew.
I've known.
Oh, fuck. So why didn't you do something about it?
Because I thought it would go away.
Okay.
It was the youth part of me. I thought it would go away.
I'm still young. I'm going to get out of this.
And it was also the part of me that... Here's something that I'm admitting, and then we're probably going to end the show here.
Okay.
The thing is that I was trying to figure out what my life was going to be. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do with my life? I enjoyed waiting tables and bartending for a while, but I knew that it wasn't enough, and I was trying to find out what I was. And then podcasting came around, and I realized I wanted to do this, and then I'm like, wait a minute. Shit, I've let too many things go. And now I got to fix all this stuff, because if I want to continue to do this and I want to be a part of the gayborhood now. Whereas before, I think I resented the gayborhood because the gayborhood didn't give me all the things that I thought it was going to give me when I came out.
Yes.
I thought it was going to give me a certain freedom and this and that, and I didn't have to deal with all the judgment and all this other stuff. I didn't realize the judgment was going to be worse. You had an
expectation of it versus what you got in reality.
Yes, the judgment was worse after I came out. Being around other gay men, it's far harder than I thought it would be being around heterosexuals.
Yeah.
But I love being gay. And I do not want to give up on being gay.
Yeah.
And now with everything that's happening, I mean, it went from LGBT to a whole rainbow of things.
That's powerful. That's a powerful statement.
That's a powerful thing. And that's amazing to see the community grow and change. I just want to grow and change with it.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of watching, like I said, watching younger people.
That's part of one of the things that I love about my job is I get to see the changes come and go.
Oh,
the people, friendships, and just the community in general.
The change when I see this.
And change is good. We may not like it, but change is good.
In 2015, when I was told by everybody I knew, gay marriage would never happen by other gay men.
Wow.
It was never going to happen. It's not going to happen. It will not happen in our lifetime.
We're so programmed to just think it was only men and women.
It will not happen in our lifetime. This and that and blah, 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 blah.
So much shit has happened in our lifetimes.
And I was optimistic because of the Houston case that happened here that got rid of the sodomy laws. And I'm like, I think I might actually see gay marriage in my lifetime. And in 2015 when it happened, I celebrated like nothing
Fuck
in the
yeah.
world. And I looked at all the people who said it was never going to happen, and I said, "Ha!"
And I remember going to my first gay wedding. That was a game changer for me.
I think 2015 was the first time that Houston Pride had moved downtown.
Okay, I remember
Yes,
that.
2015 was the first time Houston Pride. So not only had Houston Pride moved down because Houston Pride had just got too big.
Yeah.
Montrose could not handle 500,000 people.
By the way, I miss it on Westheimer.
I know, but it just got too big.
It did.
It just got too big.
That's a good thing.
And that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
But in 2015, we rented a hotel.
Yeah.
And the Supreme Court said gay marriage was legal. And we celebrated.
Yes, Queen. Yes. That's
and
amazing.
it was 9,000 degrees outside.
Applause to that shit right there.
And I was told it would never happen
In that
my
moment
lifetime.
in time. You were in that moment in time. And you got to celebrate it.
And from that day on, I knew the gay community was my. Oh no, this is I can't wait to see what's going to
Anything's
happen.
possible now. And that was because of Obama, I believe, wasn't
yeah.
it? That gay marriage was
the Supreme Court, but yes, but Obama put his.
He was one of the most pro LGBT presidents, like very
and
pro that.
He lit up the White House in rainbow
Yes,
colors
he did.
when it happened, and no one expected it to happen. Everybody said that the Supreme Court would say no.
Man.
And when the Supreme Court came back, it shocked everyone
Everybody.
except me.
But it was time, though.
But
time.
From that day, I went. I want to be a part of the gay community as much, but I didn't know how to do it.
Yes.
And I honestly did not. And now with the podcast,
Being part of the gay community has its benefits in the positive way. I mean that it's a beautiful thing when you're in the community and you see the changes that come with it. It's beautiful to be in the community.
But I'm enjoying watching the changes. I can't wait to get older. I cannot wait to get like 70 and watching the kids.
Yes,
And
that's what it is.
Nobody has to come out anymore. You can literally just be who you want to be.
The new generation can come out and benefit from the struggles of the previous generations that allowed them.
I would love to see the day when National Coming Out Day is no longer a holiday.
Yeah.
Everybody's just being their thing.
Correct.
And I love everybody's coming out as their. I love even on the heterosexual side because I think heterosexuals are discovering their sexuality.
They are.
And I think it really pisses off a lot of older heterosexuality.
Human beings in general are becoming more open to their sexuality.
They're becoming more. And I'm going to be honest, among us older gays, I think it's really starting to be like, wait a minute. So
thanks to the internet, a lot of the stigmas have gone away.
Yeah. Is being gay going to no longer be a thing? And I'm like, I think I'm okay with
that. Like the trans community is being more accepted now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because barriers are being broken down for them. The internet shows them what it's like to be them.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's opening the eyes for a lot of people that didn't know anything about them.
Yeah, sexuality and gender roles are, by the way, for all these women who are against trans people, let me tell you something. They're going to break down gender roles that you no longer have to worry about anymore. I would love to see the day that a woman can grow up like a man, where her destiny is what she wants it to be. She does not have to be a housewife. She does not have to have kids. She does not.
That's what's happening with Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. Is that what his name is? Like they have a young son, or I take that back. Daughter now. Yes. They have a daughter now that came out to them, and they were very accepting of it.
First came out as gay and then came out as transgender.
Correct.
But the thing is that with children,
and they got so much backlash from a lot of people because.
And I can understand some of the backlash with children. Children go through phases.
Yes.
So I understand the backlash, and it's okay. It's okay that they're going through the backlash because children go through phases. Sometimes a child might want to wear a superhero costume to school for 13 weeks or whatever. But children go through phases, and it's fine. Let the child figure out who they want to be. On their own.
With your support as parents.
Yes, exactly. If the child feels that they're transgender
and I respect
now,
both of them, Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, because that lets me know that they are comfortable in their own skin, that they don't need your opinion, that it's not going to affect the way they raise their children.
Their child to grow up the way that child needs to grow up.
Yes, sir.
And if that child later decides that they're not transgendered, that's that child's decision.
Correct, yes.
Let the child make a decision of where that child is at that moment.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
And that's good parenting.
Agreed.
And as long as the child is not stealing, killing, murdering, or anything else,
then you did your job.
then you did your job.
You did great.
Well, you know what? We're going to have to end this show because you and I can sit here and talk for
We're
all night
talkers.
long.
We're conversationalists. Yeah.
We're a conversation. We can sit here and talk all night long, but I don't need this show to last for 4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know that you have other stuff to do, but you and I could talk for hours.
Heck yeah, man.
And I am looking forward to having more conversations with you.
Definitely. Same
and
here.
being on the show every now and then.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Charlotte, we love you. Don't
We
get
do.
me wrong. He is not replacing
I'm not
you.
at all whatsoever.
This bitch will not replace you.
Ever.
Not ever. But if you will go out into the world,
Yes.
I can see him on the show.
If y'all ever need a guest, somebody just fill in for a day or two or something, like, let me know. I'm down. I enjoy this.
You are always down to come down and sit with me or
Bet.
sit with Charlotte, because I'm hoping that Charlotte will do it on her own
Yes.
a couple of times. But yeah, if you're willing to come down and sit with us,
I can also bring guests if you want me to bring a guest. Like, it's up to you.
Well, this time I just wanted you to bring you because
and I
wanted
love
to have
that.
a sense of you, because
Yes.
there's nothing worse than having a conversation with someone and you hear crickets.
Yes.
Part of the conversation.
Agreed.
And you're like, oh, okay, well.
It cuts it short. It makes it
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Well, we made it. We struggled.
15 minutes later, I
We
think we're going to end the
struggled
podcast.
to make it to the hour and 30-minute limit. Yeah, so we struggled to make it through. But this time we didn't struggle. We just talked.
Yeah, man.
And I hope
It was effortless.
for those of you out there who are struggling with the idea of being single,
Yes.
that you heard two guys who like being strangled but understand
Yes.
who like being single.
I like being strangled.
Yes. Well, that's another show.
Okay.
That's a sex talk.
BDSM.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, we have to have that talk again.
If you enjoy being strangled, please send us a D.
you
No,
know,
I'm kidding.
you know what? I'm going to ask a question. I have noticed that a lot of people that's a thing now.
The BDSM and all that.
No. Being a little bit strangled while you...
Yeah. A little
I've noticed
aggression
that's-
doesn't hurt.
Especially on Twitter.
Not a BDSM full on, but like
Especially on
chug
Twitter.
me daddy or
Yeah, exactly. Because
slap my ass and
let me tell you something right now. Twitter, thank you for all the hot naked men that you have sent.
Twitter is the new
I know. It's the new
Tumblr.
OnlyFans.
It's the new Tumblr.
Yes, it is the new Tumblr.
I miss Tumblr. Tumblr was my go-to.
I've never had Tumblr, but I can see where
Tumblr was like catered to your likes.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your likes were, you just started following a page, and next thing you know, you would get the content that was the shit that would get you off in that moment.
Okay, well we've already gone over the 2-hour mark, so we're
Okay.
gonna talk about Tumblr another time.
Done.
But we need the.
I'm gonna save that in my notes.
Okay, say that in your notes.
Tumblr.
All right, so we need to. You know what? Charlotte and I have never figured out an ending how to end the show.
Yes.
So I guess we can end the show.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to us.
And by the way, this part of the show was brought to you by Tubi's Woodworking. Tubi's Woodworking. Tubi gives you wood. And by the way, you can always listen. He doesn't have podcasts. You can find him on TikTok, Facebook. Watch his instructional videos on how to make all kinds of wood products.
Yep.
Because he's been a good friend of mine for quite some time. Happily married.
Yes.
Couple of daughters. Lives in the very southern Texas.
Okay.
Near McAllen, Texas. So, and you can look him up on tuviswood.com if you want to order any kind of wood product. Literally any kind of wood. He can make it. He made me a fabulous cutting board.
Did you say wood?
Yes, I said wood. Okay. I said he gives
How
you
good
wood.
is it? How good are his hands with the wood?
His hands are very good with the wood. Extremely good with the wood.
Does he make very firm,
He makes very
grippable wood?
Yes. Enough that his wife is going to call me and shoot me for this conversation.
And I'm okay with that.
Okay, I'm okay with it. I don't mind getting shot. I'm a gay man. I'm used to getting shot.
Okay.
Well, you can take that any way
In
you
more
want
ways
to.
than one.
Yes. So now we know how to end the show. I just got shot
Wood.
by wood. So we're going to say goodnight.
But
And
thank you for having me, Joe, by the way. I appreciate this. I am grateful for this.
Julio, you're going to be back on the show probably
Yes,
many
yeah.
times. Many
man.
times again.
For sure.
Probably many times again.
And if you guys want to follow me or add me on Instagram, X_July, July
And by the way, don't forget where they can find you when you're working.
They can find me at Buddy's, Houston. I normally work Monday, Tuesday, Fridays, and Saturdays, and I always do the closing shift. So from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m., I'm there.
And
You can catch me with my long hair. You will not miss me, trust.
That's not the only thing that's long about him, by the way.
Thank you. Would.
We're gonna sit. You know what? We're gonna sit around and drink some more, and maybe have a little bit more of a chat, and then we're gonna call it a day. We had a good time.
Heck yeah! Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you later. Goodbye, audience.
Bye.